Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Call of Duty World League presented by PS4. It is Championship Sunday of CWL Sydney Open 1. I'm in Maniac, and it is my absolute pleasure to bring you all of the action of this amazing event live from the ESL studio in Sydney, Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. We've already had 2 action-packed days of competition where we brought together a record 30 teams from the Asia-Pacific region. We had outstanding performances by our Asian brothers who came over, Rampage and Unveil Nova, who are also trying to make a run through the losers bracket. However, they have strong competition ahead of them, and to take us into the action, I am joined on the desk by Miles and James. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. We've hit day number 3. And you know what? I thought I'd be a lot more worn out than I am, but I'm absolutely pumped.
Josh, how can you not be pumped? It's been an amazing 2 days of competition. We've seen some crazy upsets. We got the perfect winners bracket game 1, which was Chiefs versus Prodigy Esports. The revenge story was there. All the storylines were present for us, and it's just been a spellbinding couple of days.
Spellbinding is definitely one word for it, and I'm just absolutely pumped for this competition, and there's been so much action that's already taken place. Let's check out some of the results that took place yesterday from the games on main stage. Obviously, we kick things off with Tainted Minds versus Prodigy. Prodigy, of course, the lineup including Hopi, who was recently dropped from the Chiefs. When I think of Chiefs, I thought of Hopi. That's what I thought of, and he was out to prove a point. Unfortunately, Tainted Minds too strong there. One of the Asian teams who came over, Rampage, came in, were bested by Validate Red, and then Validate Black made quick work of Garlic Bread.
Well, you can take garlic bread apart with a knife and fork, Josh. You can tear it with your hands. It's one of those very versatile dishes that is popular across the world.
I'd have to agree with you there. I mean, sometimes you just can't get enough of that garlic bread, but Validate Black, they just had enough. They didn't want any more. They'd had their serving, their fair share, and they're like, now it's time to get onto that main course.
After the loss earlier in the day, Prodigy came back with quick work over Unveil Nova with a 3-0 before getting 3-1 by Chiefs. The former team of Hopi, unfortunately not able to get his revenge, but he may make that losers bracket run yet. Then Mind Freak put on a dominating performance that they are known for. Chiefs getting pretty much torn apart in that matchup, and then Tainted Minds also finishing it off with a strong performance versus the very, very intimidating Validate Black. Gentlemen, that was so much action on the main stage. Obviously, there was action taking place off stage as well. A lot of updates and a lot of movement in the pools. I had a lot of great shows when I was off the desk and able to check out the side stage action. So let's actually have a look through the pools and see where all these teams are standing after 2 days of competition.
Well, you can see in Pool A, Tainted Minds, they walked away with that one 3-0, without dropping a single game. So they had a fantastic start to this competition, obviously putting themselves in a great spot coming out of that pool. Prodigy Esports also going 2-1. You can see Unveil Nova, the Sony Asian champs, going 2 games down, but they did manage to get a win on the board there against Rage ESC, who went 0-3.
And of course, that moves us into Pool B, where Mind Freak went an amazing 15-0 map count. James, they came in with the reputation, and it seems to be well earned.
That's the case with Mind Freak. It always is. You can never underestimate them, and this event, they're just showing once again they are the dominant team in our region. As you said, haven't dropped a map as of yet, and they're hoping to continue that when we get into the winners bracket final later in the day.
Team Infamous also had a great performance in that pool. We'll be seeing them on stage first versus Darksided. We'll leave that for a moment as we finish up Pool C and D. Chiefs topping the pool in C along with Validate Red. Validate Black also going 3-0 with Garlic Bread 2-1. So the format, the way it went, ladies and gentlemen, the top 2 teams from each pool went through to the winners bracket. And of course, the championship bracket started yesterday, and we'll touch on that in just a second. But Miles, looking at those pools, were there any real surprises for you?
I think I had higher hopes for Unveil Nova. They came off the back of the Sony Asian Champs victory. They were looking hot there. They fell short in a few game types. We felt that Respawn game types are definitely their weaker field, but their S&D game was pretty strong. We saw some crazy clutch plays from them. We saw some highlights throughout the days from that team. Apart from that, mostly standard stuff.
Yeah, the same can be said about Rampage, also coming from the Asia Championships. They looked pretty decent on some of their Search and Destroys. I can't remember who they played against yesterday where they took a map. they're looking all right, and that's a positive they can take from this event. And now they just need to really work towards their respawns. You know, go home, take this experience with a pinch of salt, and just work on or look over the VODs and everything like that, and work on those respawns.
With all of that said, I'm sure those of you playing at home are interested to see where we're up to in the championship bracket. So let's take a look here for our first 8-pack event of the Call of Duty calendar for 2017. As you can see there, we'll start with the winners bracket, where we had Tainted Minds 3-0 and Validate Red, 3-0 on the sister team Validate Black, and now in the winners bracket final, which we'll see at 3 p.m. AEDT today, we're going to have the Mindfreak versus Tainted Minds matchup, and that very well may be the grand final as well. But let's flick it over to the other side of the bracket. It's in the lower side, and of course we had a few results there. I want to talk about Darksided. Miles, they had a great run.
Darksided are on a great run, Josh. They are actually 5 games now without 5-game winning streak at the moment. So they're looking pretty hot. They haven't had any bad runs thus far. I've got high hopes for them going into this one. They not to be too cliched, but they're a dark horse in this entire event. So it's going to be pretty exciting to see what they can bring here, going up against Infamous in this next game.
Yeah, Infamous is definitely a team that I feel like for them, they underperformed a little bit on the first couple of days here. They weren't hoping to be knocked down into this lower bracket, but they weren't nonetheless. They lost to Validate Black, putting them up against Darksided, and I'm very interested to see how this one goes down. Darksided have been doing so well so far.
In that same round of the losers bracket, you have Validate Red taking on Apotheon, Garlic Bread versus Rebellious. That's Beeston's team. One of the teams I think underperformed, but are definitely going to come out swinging today. And then Prodigy Esports, Hopi, knocked down there into the lower bracket from the Chiefs. As we know, we're going to be seeing them making hopefully a really good losers bracket run as well. But they are up against Unveiled Nova, the best that the Asian scene has to offer. That should be a great match as well. But ladies and gentlemen, there was so much action that took place in yesterday and the day before. It's an amazing 3-day event. So much action has already taken place. I'd love to show you guys some of the matches and some highlights from those amazing matchups we saw yesterday. So let's check them out now.
Sydney Open, Nimble, we talked about him, we got to watch him off the break, and he's already taken out his head-to-head match.
You need to kill, you need to chase, because you get an idea of what players on Prodigy are playing where, and you know when to kill them and where to expect them to be, basically. The good things I did see from their comms is there's lots...
Again, similar to map number 1 in that OBJ instantly.
Yeah, Hobie's playing a pretty nicely pushed up spot here, like we saw Buzzin yesterday saying, but if he's going to sit outside the map, no, he's going to try and dodge that kill streak out from damage. Just noticing things again.
Team dodges a nice grenade there, and Nimble cleans it up. Nimble is already 10-5. He's just having a phenomenal series and a phenomenal event so far.
Yeah, he's doing hard work for his team here. Looks like we're going to see this rotation sort of come out. Prodigy were in control of the spawns initially at...
Prodigy Esports are doing phenomenal. Nimble pops the active camo, finds one player. Can he get the second? Reads him around the cut, does do so, and that is exactly what Tainted Minds do. They're in a net.
High point to hold down, but too bad for Rampage. They're going to go down 250 to 187.
And there it is, 250 to 1. Make something happen here. Oh, he's found a player. He didn't kill him, he tags him up, but he doesn't get the kill, and now he's stuck in a wall. Oh my goodness, Setsi! He almost had it, he couldn't finish that kill. Wow! There we points, but he got to hear them be scored against, so now it is 2-1 to Validate Red. They've just got another dunk, so props to them. Validate slaying their little hearts out, 15-6 for Zeppa. He was on a 7 kill streak a moment ago, now he's on a 10. A little bit of time left, but he won't be making it, guys. Game 3, it is going to be all Validate Red, 16-4. What a screamer. A little bit of time left, but he won't be making it, guys. Game 3, it is going to be all Validate Red, 16-4. What a screamer. I don't think he will. He may be going for it now. Here comes the push. He's got the information. He knows where those players are going to be. Camo play in the background for that member of Unveiled Nova gets taken down. That's the reactive armor kill as well. Beautiful stuff here. 240.
That just absolutely should not have happened. They had one player on his own market who was obviously defensively jumping away, and then Xenon chooses to just sit in the corner instead of actually cutting the lane. At the very least, he head spots in the game. He's got his scope out, and hopefully he finishes off with a clean 2-piece, and yes, he does. That was clean as.
6
2. He's also
this
going
is
for a
dirty.
run now. This could be big. He knows those players are sitting on top. Here comes the bombardment. He's going to be grabbed 1 and 2. He's got 2. He's 125 now.
3 down, and
This
he's going to
is
do the dunk, and this is going to be Warden.
That's a Warden right there. 200 points for that final dunk. And now Hopi calling in that Warden.
Throwing that nade straight out, and he's going to be trying to get control initially off the start, and he
Oh,
picks
wow.
up the
I mean, this could be way closer if they were waiting a little bit more.
20 seconds left in this hard point, and it has been completely dominated by the Chiefs. Now, Prodigy, Chiefs only need 8.
points.
It's the last few seconds. Gydra, he's popped his camo.
There we
He's
go.
coming in to clear it out. Picks up 1. That's
Good
the
trades.
assist there. Great trades coming out from this team. Nade as well. Not only do
3
they
down.
need to secure this,
That's
though.
4 down.
All 4 cleared out. Eminence is holding it down. Clears it out. And
That's
Hopi's
3
coming
down.
in. Hopi, he's on the 3.
Yes,
4
Hopi.
kills straight down to the last few seconds here.
They can get this.
Prodigy,
They're going to take
turn
it.
it around.
Yes, Josh. What a huge game.
250 to 247. Obviously ahead by 3. They can afford to lose
FTL.
this one. Uses the FTL. Gets the
Oh,
defender.
he clutched it. He absolutely clutched it. What a boss usage of FTL. That was absolutely amazing.
I am dumbstruck. And just because of that one FTL play, it is going to be the Chiefs wrapping it up. 6 rounds to 2. Ladies and gentlemen.
Flank crates, crates, underpass, Bates underpass.
Yeah, he's gonna kill me.
Two underpass, both of them. Safe one.
Alright, Space give me Lakey. Lakey's crazy.
Ryan?
Yeah, blue, one, you guys.
Yeah, one's flying Ryan. Head gun.
Dozer. I'm playing it. Ice.
They still have the lead. Eminence throwing this forward, gets kills as well, and tries to kneecap 1, follows it up with more. Lakey's got support. This is at least 1, make it 2.
Little tiny error, which cost him everything. I'd like to see Scrism probably pick up his game a little bit more. He's only 26 and 25 to finish out that map. Game's going to end 8-1. Prodigy unfortunately losing that. How frustrating.
Prodigy going up in the series 2.
It is to hold down those spawns.
Yeah, these spawns are really split. Everyone on both teams are just really spread across the map. Some grouping starting to happen now, a little bit more from Prodigy as they push around. This is probably a little bit of an early play from Gydra to push this hard point, though he does have a teammate pinching in with him. They're not.
Last second, he challenges West Grissom, nowhere to be found. The last seconds are picked up, and the Chiefs take the series versus Prodigy. And what a way to do it there on that 4th map. Excite holding down the points for the squad. Excite, the hero they needed over in Atlanta, unfortunately going down there in the hallway. Shocks outside bar, having a drink before he goes in. He's going to need it. I hope it's a stiff one as he gives one back over here to the guys over on.
Player looks like he's trying to come around the corner, and he's got the help of his teammate in Excite Fate. He's not going to be able to do much more than that. And Chiefs, they're failing at every turn here, trying to get into it, but he is fully streaked out here, Fighter. He is Chiefs. They get into the hill, but as soon as they do, Fighter just gets it straight back.
Fighter absolutely deleting Chiefs right now. 6 kill streak, make it 7, goes for more. He still has that bomb. Might there be a clutch defuse here? We're going to see Lakey try and go for it. Can it actually happen? They're defending well. This should be a defuse by the way this looks.
Please.
Mind Freak all completely abandoned it, but there was the one player in the corner who set the trap. It was sprung. Beautiful stuff there. They set it. He was waiting in the corner. This S&D, and he gets dropped. Mind Freak with a dominant 6-1.
Ball, ding.
Anything go?
I can get one.
Like you, bull.
Oh, yeah, I'm playing 2. Gotta get one more.
No, one shot. You're playing Newcastle. Yeah, I boxed at you.
Over Chiefs, probably one of the top teams that they're going to face this weekend.
Yeah, that was one hell of a performance by Mind Freak. We're wrapping it up right there, ladies and gentlemen. 9-4 Mind Freak, 3-0 victory over Chiefs. They have confirmed a top 3 finish at minimum here.
Going down, they're trying to just push in, but they are getting spawned way out.
Yeah, there was a nice little 3-and-1 pin.
Hey Kyle, and this is getting to crunch time. Validate Black, there's a 3 down, and that should be game here.
Oh my
Tainer
God.
Mines, they bring it, they bring the fire, and they take this one with a pretty commanding lead after what we saw was so close at the start.
Basically on time right now. Nimbles popped his camo. It's going to go in, destroys the bomb plant, and almost gets a second player right there.
No, Nate, that's it. Validate Black, they ran out of time, and that's one of those situations where you think, you know,
Go straight to the bot. There's 3 behind us, yeah?
They're gonna go straight to you
One
guys.
of them's gone to new.
All of them are.
Oh, he's already statue. He's already on ball. He's on ball. Focus, aim that. Oh, Jake came behind me.
One shot.
Nice check.
Sent be a 2-point play. We're going to see this go up 8-4 in favor of Tainted Minds.
let's see if they can't relay. Has his FDL jump available. He should definitely use it here if he's not able to get the first kill. Unfortunate there, but that is going to be game, set, and match. Tainted Minds, they're going to be going into the winners bracket final against Mindfreak.
So many awesome moments from yesterday's matches. Obviously finishing there with Tainted Minds' very dominating performance in our final game of the day. I couldn't possibly pick a favorite, so I'm going to put the pressure on you guys. James, what's your favorite highlight from yesterday's matches?
It has to be that Tainted Minds series because, you know, they have a lot to prove this weekend after their performance in Atlanta being as bad as it was for what we expected from them. And now they're showing up. They're playing these top teams and they're doing very well against them. And when it comes to that winners bracket, things just, I feel like it's going to hit the fan.
Going from top 40 to top 3 is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Miles, what was your favorite moment from yesterday?
I mean, the series, it was emotionally disruptive to watch at times, but Chiefs versus Prodigy Esports was great, and particularly that final round in the S&D League. I've been ramming about it all day. You know, I was on Twitter tweeting it, making stupid jokes about hats and stuff. But yeah, man, that FTL play to win that final round, we'd seen FTL used a few times in the weekend, you know, as a way of escaping, you know, bad gunfights or poor situations or initiating gunfights, but never to like close the gap in between two players and then kill a guy just before getting a defuse. I mean, that was clutch as hell.
Discuss the lights out gameplay that took place yesterday. Let's check out today's schedule to see what's coming up. As we mentioned a little earlier, Team Infamous going up against Darksided. Now, Team Infamous, James, you could tell us a little bit about this lineup, some well-known faces in this squad.
It's definitely seems that way. They were a team that were, I believe, some of them the core of a former Excellence lineup. They got dropped from Excellence, then they brought together, I think Flares recently jumped onto the team in replacement for, I think, maybe Back-a-Back. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, definitely storied players in this scene.
I cannot wait to see what they've got. Darksided have a great lineup as well. We'll talk about them in just a second. Obviously, our first matchup on the main stage. Then we have the remaining losers bracket rounds 4, 5, and 6 before at 3 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, which I believe is 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's going to be the Mindfreak versus Tainted Minds matchup that we've all been waiting for. Is that going to be the grand final, or is someone else going to be in there? We shall see how the losers bracket run goes. After that, of course, you guys know how a format works by now. Losers bracket final followed by the grand final of CWL Sydney Open 1 presented by PS4. With thanks, of course, also to Astro and ViewSonic. This is going to be one hell of a day, and I cannot wait. But of course, we've already told you guys what is coming up first. So let's get set up for this action. It is going to be Team Infamous versus the boys at Darksided, and they have a great record so far. And by great, you know, at least they're tying or winning more than they're losing. So you got 6-6 for Infamous, and of course they are 14-12 win-loss record for Darksided. Now, Miles, what do you think we can expect from these teams? Because I know both of them, with some older players up here, some new, they have a lot to prove.
Tons to prove, and just looking at those wins and losses there, Josh, you can tell that Darksided, they came through open bracket. They have been playing hard for 3 days now. I mean, this is going to be the culmination of all that time spent on the board. So, look, more games on your belt, better pressure on the land. You know, they're going to be in a solid situation to walk away with this.
Well, let's look at Infamous here. I mean, they're a team that they've come together. They're trying to prove that they deserve a top 6, top 4 even placement. And Darksided, they're going to be a real challenge for them, I think.
I really believe so. So much experience here, especially with Azzy, Kitty, Spades, of course. You know, you got players here who played all throughout the CWL Stage 1 and 2 in the 2016 season. Flares in there as well. Obviously, a very impressive player, but going up against a formidable squad in Darksided. We can talk about these guys all day as well. And again, so much hype around, you know, the stables of the ANZ scene. Mindfreak, Tainted Minds, Chiefs. We talk about these guys all the time, but names like this you cannot underestimate either.
Yeah, I mean, Brownie, Cones, Perko, and Yoshino, for these names. Brownie, he did qualify for Stage 2, I believe, but there was a team change just before that play went underway. Cones was in Stage 2 for CWLs also. We saw him regularly on the show, and then Perko as well. Yosh has been around for God knows how long. We've been watching his broadcast and enjoying his show as well. So we got 4 players who've got a lot of experience here, very knowledgeable of the game. It's going to be a sweet match.
I'm excited to see how the Darksided team plays because they have been off stream the whole weekend long so far. They've been grinding out that open bracket, trying to get into pools. They didn't do so well in their pool play matches, so they got obviously forced down into the losers bracket, but they've done so well since. And as you saw before in the graphic we had up, they're on a 6-map winning streak, so they are hot.
Indeed they are, James. I definitely agree with that. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is the lower bracket here, which of course means one series loss and you are eliminated from CWL Sydney Open 1 presented by PS4. This is obviously a huge game, and to get the thoughts from both teams, we have Yosh and Azzy on the stage.
Thank you very much, InManiac. Yes, I'm joined here by Azzy and by Yosh. Gents, I might start here with Darksided. Yosh, talk to me about how you guys progressed. So you have played a lot of Call of Duty in the last 2 days. Talk to me about your progression through the open bracket, your groups, and how you got to here.
So yeah, we've obviously played a lot of Call of Duty. Unfortunately, we were a bit shaky very early on. Played very, very poorly for our standards. And yeah, definitely we're just starting to find our heat yesterday, coming into the losers bracket. Obviously we're 6-0 in map count, and yeah, we're just looking to continue that form on today.
Are you feeling pretty good? You know, you've had time to build up. We've talked about this to Tainted Minds. We've talked about this to a few other teams. Especially for you, you've essentially had that opportunity to progress through. You stumbled at the start, but really, by now, you should be hitting your stride.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I think it's kind of beneficial that we're actually playing against these guys. We obviously have played against them a lot in previous Call of Duties and stuff, so a lot of the pool play teams that we played, as well as the open bracket teams, they were kind of caught us off guard. We haven't really played too much against them, and their play styles and stuff really caught us off. So, to play against a really structured team like Infa, I think it's definitely going to benefit us, and we'll play our game and make sure we get the result.
I guess we'll have to go and see. Azzy, mate, we saw you guys on stage a little bit earlier on the weekend. You didn't have an amazing pool play, but you're here right now, and we're getting towards the pointy end of things. We're on day number 3, the final day here, Championship Sunday. How do you feel the team's at right now?
Oh, I don't want everyone to base us off the pool play game we played against Mindfreak. It was it was like a rock up, play the game thing, and we happen to play the best team at the tournament right now. We've been having a lot of series. We played a couple great series yesterday, a tough one against Validate, but we're looking to bounce back today.
What do you think about this lineup up against a team like Darksided? Yosh was just saying, they're happy that they're versing you guys on stage right now. Are you guys feeling the same?
I'm definitely happy to verse them. They're really good mates of ours. We're we're best friends out of game, like us. We're basically staying at the same place. So yeah, it's always good to verse mates. It's always just a bit of banter after game as well. But they're a solid squad. They have a lot of potential. Not quite at the top yet, but they definitely have their times. If they make minimal mistakes, they can definitely hang with most of the best teams here.
Well, we'll have to see how you guys go. It's going to be an absolutely awesome game. Gents, I'd like to invite you to shake hands and make your way back to the desk. Good luck to both of you. It's going to be Team Infamous up against Darksided in Maniac. Back over to you.
Thank you very much, Ben. We just had Yosh and Azzy there, representatives of both Darksided and Infamous, calm, reserved, and we're all friends here, aren't we, gentlemen? This is sure to be a great match, and I'm glad they can have some banter afterwards, all shake hands and all be happy, but of course, Miles, as we know, only one team is going to progress.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to be very friendly and smiley to one another when it's like, cameras are on, but as soon as those headsets are on, man, it is life or death for these guys. We're all gamers here, we're all competitive, we all want to win. I mean, James, you've played games online before, you know what it's like. You're going to be all smiles and shaking hands afterwards, but deep down inside, you want to get the kills, right?
Oh, especially on LAN, you're seeing the player right in front of your eyes. You just want to get into their head and try and put them off their game. And I know that some of the players on both teams love to do that. Spades, I've seen him shouting all weekend long. He's trying to get the hype into his squad. I'm not too sure about Darksided because once again, we haven't seen them on the main stage just as of yet, but I know that they will be trying to get the win here, and especially because they're friends. Imagine the sort of rivalry that could start going out through the rest of this year.
It's early on Sunday morning here in Australia, but we are ready to get into the action in just a moment. Before we do, let's check what maps these guys are going to be playing on. Again, if you are just tuning in and you're not familiar with it, it is a best of 5 format. 3 maps will get you walking away with the W while handing a big fat L to your opposition. Up first, Retaliation, Hardpoint, loving the map, and then Scorch, as we know, came in for the championship bracket. We got it working, the COD gods working in our favor, and then at minimum, we'll be seeing a pre-Saint uplink. Gentlemen, let's start by having a quick chat about the Hardpoint. I think this is going to sort the men from the boys, and I think there's a lot of slaying power on both teams. James, how do you think Infamous are going to go up against Darksided?
It's hard to say. I mean, I'm really looking at players such as Kitty and Flares to step up. Flares, he's known for being a very aggressive and slaying heavy player. He hasn't necessarily brought that in a couple of the matches they've played. Spades has definitely stepped up in that regards, and Azzy has been very rock solid. It's hard to say whether or not coming into the Championship Sunday if they're going to be able to continue that.
I mean, on the other side of the board, I want to see Cones and Perko going absolutely buck wild there in that hard point. I've got high hopes for both of them. When it gets down to the S&D, it's, you know, it's hard to get away from what we've already seen of Infamous. Kitty's an S&D god. Yeah. It's a fact. He's going to be doing great things there for his team, you know. But it's all up in the air at this stage. We haven't seen Darksided play. They've got a ton of game time under their belt, but this could go either way for me.
Well, let's see if Infamous will get bucked. We're going to be getting into the action very, very shortly. But before we do, we all know this is the first event of the Asia Pacific calendar for the Call of Duty World League, and there are 10,000 pro points up for grabs for the winners. But the event coming up straight after this is going to be CWL Dallas. Now, the reason this event is so vital, it is the last chance for teams competing in the Call of Duty World League to try and get those sweet and juicy points to qualify for the Global LAN League, the premier esports event of the 2017 season, where we will see teams converge to the United States to play on LAN over 2 complete stages. It is going to be absolutely nuts. Now, CWL Dallas is going to have 2 spots available in pool play for Asia Pacific teams. And of course, that's going to be a huge event. And again, the last chance to get points for that Global LAN League. It is going to be absolutely awesome. And following that, we do have CWL Sydney Open 2 presented by PS4 coming up over May 12 to 14. But Miles, the Global LAN League, how hyped are you for that? Are you containing yourself right now?
No, my legs are shaking, my knees are weak, arms are heavy. This is the most incredible scale of a kind of LAN league like this. I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. The scale is unprecedented. It is going to be off the chain. The entire world is going to be battling out for the prestige of being called the best team in the world at Call of Duty, James. Isn't it rad to be a part of it?
It's absolutely nuts this year. I mean, the way that Activision have stepped up their game in terms of the schedule and how it's operating this year, I know the players are loving the amount of LANs we're having. That's a big, a big point, a big talking point. There's so many opportunities for everyone to prove themselves on a zero ping connection and to say, you know what, yeah, we can bring it online, but we're also gods on LAN. We can take it to anyone. But we're going to have to see who's the better of the 2 LAN teams here today between Infamous and Darksided. I keep on going back to Darksided. They're in a hot run of form right now. But then again, obviously, that was all yesterday. Today, they're fresh. They haven't been able to warm up for very long, just as much as the Infamous boys haven't either. And I feel like this one could definitely just come down to who's able to warm up the quickest.
Oh, totally. It's a new dawn. It's a new day for these guys. They're going to be playing fresh. They have had a chance to warm up a tiny bit, but this is going to be the first time that the games really matter. And James, as you said, it's losers bracket. 1 series loss, and you are going home early here at the CWL Open 1. Sydney has been absolutely lit for the last 2 days. I mean, it's been raining like crazy, but we have seen some absolutely delightful Call of Duty gameplay, and I've got a good feeling we're about to see a ton more. Darksided versus Infamous. Retaliation Hardpoint is going to be game number 1. Let's get this one underway with Spades.
Spades on your screen to start things off, and he is going to be going down towards that bridge side of things, potentially with the MV4. He's looking for long-range engagements down the left-hand side of the bridge. Spots up a couple players, able to find the first kill there, but it will be Darksided to get the first couple of points here.
Here, Perko now coming on through cuts. He's got a couple of kills from behind. This is a really great position for him to be in. That's all 4 dead for Infamous. Spades the only one on respawn now. We're on board with Darksided. Perko watching that cut-off point. He's going to be watching the rear now. He's got a couple of players coming in from behind him in Graves, actually. So that was Flares. He's going to engage. Does get dropped immediately by Flares. We'll have a quick look at Kitty now. This is Envious on your screen. Also making a play for that hard point. The first hard point has been all Darksided so far. 20 seconds on the board. Infamous haven't quite managed to show up just yet, but it's very early days at this point.
Able to get a nade kill there, Envious, and he's going to push into the hill as well. Get some points on the board. He's also got his Scarab now, and he's starting things off quite hot. 3 for 1. At the beginning of this game. With only 7 seconds remaining though, you're really needing to look towards getting those market spawns to be able to hold lower street.
Yeah, we'll jump on board with Cones, who's trying to get those... sorry, it's actually Brownie's trying to make something happen. There's a lower street just gone down. He's actually getting the flanks there on the guys on plat. This is a big turn. Doesn't manage to make it work for himself. Perko now down low, trying to get a sneaky play here. He's got shots out. Brilliant job catching Spades off guard there, and he's going to get that first kill. Can't get the second. Brownie now coming in from above. Slow spawns for him. He's going to try to make this work out for his team. Again, the score line has flipped. This has been a great hard point for Infamous, 27-22. We're seeing how this one plays out. Brownie now in control. Slow and steady setup, James. Things are looking pretty good for Boys Blue.
Infamous are definitely working on those spawns. They're helping them get back into the fight quickly and effectively here. Azzy, he's going to be able to find that kill on the player who was in the hill, and the second one who pushes him onto patio. I don't know why Cones wasn't looking out for Azzy's position here, but the last few seconds of scrap time here, 15 of them still spawning way out in Broken is Darkside and Infamous. They're looking very nicely set up going into this Cathedral hardpoint.
Look, we've got one player of Infamous in the position to hold down that next setup for the spawns. They want to get those market spawns again for the graveyard site, and this is a big push here. Spades managed to get 2. Perko manages to get those kills for Darksided, and now Cathedral's up. We do have Infamous just on the offensive. We'll have a quick look at Envious as he's coming in, trying to get those players on the cutoff point. He probably won't be able to make anything happen here, but big shots out from him. Does a great job of getting the turn there, but not able to keep that one going. So it early starts here for Infamous. They're looking good in this one, James. 34 for Darksided. I love this spot from Flares. I did not know you could get up there, and then like the shockwave to get down very, very quickly and put himself out of trouble. Nice heads-up play.
Yeah, definitely using his perks to his advantage and his trait for that for that rig there. Flares and Spades now, they're going to be getting all the time, allowing their teammates to push up for some map control. 25 seconds remaining on this hill, so if you can see on the minimap, Azzy, he's rotating all the way around into the Broken, ready for that hill to rotate there, and he's not going to be able to find the kill. That's off screen. Meanwhile, Perko and Cones are combining for some to try and stop this attempt from Infamous to get the spawns going into the Broken hardpoint. And you can see on the minimap right now, Darksided, they've got complete control over this backside of the map. Yeah,
superb stuff from them. We missed the kill on Azzy. Azzy losing that 1v1 here against Perko. Now Perko in full control of Destroyed Building. It's going to be the push coming in from Darksided. Big shots out for the first one. First kill goes in the favor of Darksided, but it's back and forth already. Azzy on a 7... Wait, Spades is on a 7 kill streak. Oh my good lord. He's had his wheat bix this morning. There's actually kill streaks coming in from himself there. He didn't manage to net anything with that, but we know he got the intel he needed for his team.
Azzy and Co are working very nicely together as a squad here. Spades, he's going absolutely off. 7 kill streak. Can he increase that as he goes on? And you can see he's only 75 points away from that warden. If he gets that, that could be game-changing. He's going to get the kill there. So Spades, so early in this one, only 11 kills to his name, but he's already got a damn warden.
Oh my goodness, and I think he may be holding on to that one. He probably doesn't need to drop it now. 133 to 40. He can save that towards the late game. Once they crack 200, you bring a warden onto the field, that's going to completely change everything. Yeah. I cannot believe this is the second time we've seen a warden here at CWL Sydney Open 1. I mean, this has been insane. These PlayStations are on fire right now. These players are playing out of their skin. We'll have a quick look at Brownie, who hasn't made too much of a big impact in this game so far. 5 and 12 for him. He does have a bit of time on the board. We're going to see if he can't make something happen here. He's trying to lock down his outside spawns. Hotel Hallway is going to fall straight into the hands of the likes of Infamous. We'll have a quick look at Flares, who's making those fights happen through mid. Big wins there on the plat there. Brownie now coming in through the rears, trying to make something happen. Looks like we've actually got Darksided in control. He didn't need to actually do too much there, so he's got that back door covered. He has lobby watched. He's got a player in behind. Oh, wow. Somebody just got a multi-kill. Perko actually just took down the entire team. Brilliant stuff from him. So, you know, Darksided already killing this one.
Yep. 5 kill streak for Perko, the man on a mission, trying to get his team back into this one. They've got complete control over the hotel hallways, not allowing Infamous a single footstep into that hard point. But as I say that, they do break the hill, and it's going to be 15 seconds of scrap time that they might be able to get, but Cones is able to find Envious, so that breaks that chance. 10 seconds going to be going to Darksided here, but Infamous, they need to look to rotate now back over towards the bridge. One player there was trying to do so, Azzy, but he will get gunned by Yosh. Perko going down as well. Coneso answering back onto Envious, and this is looking a little bit bad for Infamous. They've gone 4 down, and they need to recuperate here.
Well, look, it was looking bad for Infamous, but they've just dropped that Warden in play, and now there's kill streaks coming out. They're using the kill streaks to try to kill the Warden, and then all 3 shots from the Trinity Rocket hit that Warden, so you know that his health is going to be significantly decreased. Spades has still got a bombardment in his back pocket, and oh wow, look at that heads-up play. Down. It went straight down. The players took that one out clean, and you know, one thing I've noticed, as he's very quick on the rotations. He manages to get there very early. He's in the right position, but he's just losing those gun battles. So if he can pick up that 1v1 play, I really think this is going to help push Infamous even further into the lead.
Right now, no one contesting that hard point. They're just sort of circling around each other here, but Infamous, another 2 down towards them, is not going to help their cause. And as I say that, Azzy is going to fall to his death as well. But meantime, 13 seconds remaining. Now's the time for the rotations. Get that market spawn control, and you can see on your mini-map, it's all dark-sided. Infamous, they're getting some scrap time, and they need to push up the map, get map control. Perko, he's going to come face-to-face with Flares here in a second. If he's not careful, Flares is going to get absolutely outgunned there, and it will go down that way. Perko now, he's just going to wait it out for his teammates to respawn around him. Infamous, though, they've been able to get those market spawns that I talked about, which is so influential going on this hard point here and onto the next one. If you can maintain them for the whole time there, you are set up perfectly.
Great pinch there from Brownie and Cones. They managed to get right in the middle of that one, and again, working in tandem perfectly together. They took down 3 members between the 2 of them there of Infamous. So Infamous may be in the lead at the moment, but Dark-Sided coming back strong. Market spawns fell into the favor of Infamous. So with Infamous in position like that, they're already going to be in a great spot to push on through. But look, Dark-Sided cleaning these kills up. It was positionally the Infamous, they were in advantage there. But look, Dark-Sided, great shots coming out from both sides of the board. Big kills either way. So James, we're back to 191 to 95. Dark-Sided, not out of this yet.
I feel like Infamous sort of started going for 1v1 gunfights, losing them, and sometimes even 1v2s. They were going up in the face of Dark-Sided, not working out in their favor there, so they did get the spawns flipped. But as I say that, some kill streaks come out from Flares. He gets 2 with the Trinity Rockets, and he tries to go for a 3rd. Not going to happen, but Infamous have been able to take back the spawns, take control of the Cathedral Hill, and now they're just piling on that lead. It is over 100 points here. They are trying to just shut this game down as quickly as possible.
Yep, on board now with Kitty, who's going to be contending with a few members of Dark-Sided, pushing him through towards his Cathedral hard point. Spades gets 2, Azzy gets 1, that's all down. Spades has been having an incredible game so far, although his Warden, it came out early, but it didn't necessarily do too much damage. Now, Kitty using this, okay. He was going to use that Scarab. Perfect position to do it, though. He's sitting still in the hill. He's in the hard point. He's going to rack up that time while buying a little bit of information for his team, and maybe even a kill out of it. So why the hell not? Kitty's still on your screen there. His active camo is ready. Azzy's payload is also at hand, should he need it. But this is looking mighty strong for the likes of Infamous. Dark-Sided, they kind of just fell off of the map. They just stopped pushing hard, and after this camo play, I don't think there's too much more they can do between Flares and Spades. This one is over. 250 to 95. Game 1 to Infamous. Looking mighty strong here on Retaliation Hardpoint.
Gentlemen, this is supposed to be one of our premier matchups for the start of the losers bracket for today, but Dark-Sided still asleep at the sticks as Infamous really give him a spanking and make him start producing a few tears as they get 100-point club there, 250 to 95. James, we expect a little bit more out of Dark-Sided in that one.
I was, honestly. I don't really know where they went. Sometimes, you know, they did manage to get some good control over some spawns to be able to get rotations back onto the hard point as quickly as possible, but Infamous just broke it way too easily, and especially after Spades got consistent score streaks, he was just hammering down the bombardment, scorches, whatever he had in his back pocket, he was using.
Yeah, as far as, you know, major successes go, yeah, we saw Kitty winning some big fights, Spades going absolutely buck wild. One thing I want to point out, you know, I'm going to give Azzy a bit of flack here. He was perfect on his rotations. He was there. He was in position for the right spawns. You know, I've watched his YouTube series. He's following his own damn good advice. Yeah. And sadly, he was losing out those 1v1 fights. So while he was in perfect position, he couldn't maximize the potential from those spots he was in.
So much experience on Team Infamous. Dark-Sided looked good off the start, but that was about it. Infamous decided to really get those thumbs working, and we saw them basically just walk away with it. We saw streaks aplenty. I was probably expecting a bit more efficiency from the Warden, but, you know, such a strong score streak gets shut down pretty quickly.
You got to identify the threats. You know, that was a major, you know, target to be taking out if you're on the side of Dark-Sided. And fortunate enough for them, they had a Trinity rocket to hand, and we didn't catch it on stream, but you could see it going down on the minimap. All 3 shots landed atop of that, you know, that massive behemoth in the sky just before it could really cause any damage. So props to Dark-Sided.
Do you think Shield are going to be upset about that Warden taken down there, James? They're pretty expensive.
They're expensive and they're hard to get, and when you get one, you want it to do work, but I feel like they didn't really need it in the end. They were so dominant towards the latter half of this game that the Warden really didn't make a huge difference, even if it was up for a little bit longer.
Infamous, aka the Avengers, I'm sure they're going to continue a hot streak throughout this series. Obviously, we're going to be seeing a search and destroy next, but obviously taking a hard point in such a dominating fashion is a great way to start the losers bracket run for these guys. Again, a wealth of experience on this team as he's been around. He's basically my granddad. He's got so much experience in the scene, and yeah, I'm looking for big things from this team. Again, obviously, we hype up the stable teams in the ANZ region, but, you know, you've really got to watch out for these underdogs, Miles.
Well, I was going to say, the top end of the APAC region now, there ain't no Cinderella stories here, man. I mean, there's the three ugly sisters, and they're just peeing all over poor old Cinderella. But at the bottom end of things, yeah, man, that's where we're looking to see those hype plays. We're looking to see those guys coming up out of nowhere and making a splash.
Are Darksided's foot gonna fit in the shoe, James?
It's so difficult to say. I mean, after a loss like that, you got to be demoralized, and this is really just going to be coming down to whether or not they can win some clutch situations, I feel like, because you've got some absolute S&D stars on Infamous. We talked about Envious already. He is a god on that game mode, always has been.
Well, let's see if Darksided can become the beautiful swans we know they are. Miles moving into the S&D, looking for a comeback. Completely different game to Hardpoint. Maybe it's a time for the boys on Darksided to reset, maybe have an energy drink and come to the party.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they can make it home before the clock strikes midnight and that fairy tale ends. But look, dude, they've still got a whole new game to play after this one. Scorch is going to be the next map up. Precinct will be following that one. If we go into this S&D now, I mean, straight up off the bat, the rig draft isn't going to be anything too cray-cray, although Cones just opted out of an FTL, which has been a staple of the choices so far in the stage.
It really has been. Sometimes you've got to keep an eye on this rig draft, but James, Darksided, it was a slow start for them. If they don't come back, what's it going to mean for the team here to be eliminated in the first game of Championship Sunday?
They are going to feel very down about themselves. I mean, they made such a good run in the open bracket, went very well there, obviously had some upsets in that pool play, but once they got into the lower bracket, they had a couple of games to play so far, and they did well. They did very well. 6 win streak, as we said, 6 map win streak. 2 3-0s in a row. They wanted to do it again. It's not going to happen. At least they're losing 1 map here. But, I mean, looking at the other side of things, Infamous, they need to get back rolling because they want to go on a massive losers bracket run.
Got to make those runs happen. We all know that the loser bracket is where the real drama lies. You lose, you go home. And so far, the CWL Sydney Open 1 has been full of upsets and drama and all sorts of crazy events. And we're going to see a couple more of those happen now on Scorch. S&D Game 2, Infamous versus Darksided. For those of you just joining us, we're in the loser bracket. Things are already heating up. Darksided fell to Infamous that first game, 250 to 95. And now you can see the players on your screen. That's Infamous right there. You got Kitty, Spades, and there he is. Captain Azzy, Chief Azzy. Check out his YouTube videos. Retaliation Hardpoint breaks that one down. He watches, I believe, Tainted Minds versus Mindfreak, and he really picks that one to pieces. The fine-tooth comb was out. You know that comb that gets rid of head lice? He had one of those suckers out, and he was really going through that gameplay, and it's very, very informative stuff. And let's face it, I think he was taking some of his own advice in that last match.
He must have been. His rotations were on point. You mentioned it so many times, Miles.
Too many times.
Too many times, yeah. But, I mean, that's the sort of caliber player that he is. He's a very intelligent player, but we are over and done with that hard point. It's time to look towards the search and destroy here. And I'm really looking at Darksided. They need to lift their game. Yoshi had a very bad start to that one. Cones was a little bit shaky as well. I think we really need to see Yoshi step up here.
Yep, see if Yosh can't get onto the tip of his sword and do that funny little balancing act he does in that fighting game his character's name has come from. Guys, we've got a bit of a treat for you. Those in the audience can see what's about to happen, and you're in for a treat. You know what's happening.
They're from Infamous.
We've got a couple of snipes. We've got,
what do you expect?
We got an envious snipe here. We've also got, on the other side of the fence, we've also got Cones with one. Let's see how this one pans out. We'll stay on board with with Kitty. No, I think he's opting against it. No, he's stopped moving. He's opting against it. No, he hasn't. Oh, he's got a controller issue. That's probably what's going down. Yeah, okay. Guys, we're going to have to start this one again. No worries. Thank you for sticking with us. Game 1 is going to be somewhat delayed, but that is not a problem. Sometimes these things happen. Again, we mentioned yesterday, the occasional controller fault does happen. We've all been there, guys. It is not a problem for us. We're going to sit this one out, and as you can see on your screen, that's the boys of Darksided. Everyone just getting ready to make something happen here. The refs are doing their thing. They're working their magic. Little elves that they are, scuttling around the stage, making sure that all this stuff runs smoothly, and we are very grateful for their work. So we'll see what happens here, guys. Again, we're just waiting for a couple more updates. Otherwise, James, yeah, we saw 2 snipes at play for both teams. We saw, Envious Kitty was running on Cones, and the other side of the board was using a snipe, so it's going to be exciting to see if those guys can make a big old play happen early off the bat. There's a couple of decent lines of sight here on Scorch, nothing major to write home about. Obviously, looking across that B-bomb site, there's going to be a nice alley for both those players to get picks on each other.
Yeah.
Again, you expecting a similar run from these guys at the start of the next round?
I'm hoping so.
after the reset, rather.
Yeah. It's going to be difficult to see. I mean, I don't really know who the better sniper is out of those two. Envious, we've seen him a few times with the sniper across his career, but you know, he's not necessarily one of those players where you go, yeah, he's definitely picking up the scope. He's definitely going to be going for those snipes. You know, unlike some players in the North American region, you look at Formal, you look at sometimes Clayster will bring it out, and you know, that's something that they like to do consistently. Envious, I don't think we've seen him do it so far this weekend on main stage at least. Not sure about some of his off-stream games, whether he's decided to do that, but you know, the S&D god he is, he probably knows how to use scope.
Oh, you know, we saw him throughout the CWL Stage 2 in Black Ops 3. He was fantastic throughout that. Not just an S&D god for his decision-making ability, but also for his, you know, clutch factor with the sniper rifles of, you know, whatever snipe he chose to use. You know, we saw Kitty running some kind of weird weapons throughout the entire lifespan of Black Ops 2. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get to see a little bit more crazy stuff from the guy. He's a wonderful, innovative player. He's exciting to watch. A very charismatic Call of Duty player. Speaking of charisma, there's Azzy on your screen. Damn, rocking those nice headsets. Astro, thank you again for hooking us up. Of course, ViewSonic providing crystal clear clarity on the monitor stage. It's been a very, very good weekend so far, and we're excited to get game number 2 underway. We thank you for sticking around. Thanks for your patience. Again, just working through these technical issues. You can see on your screen, everyone looking pretty chilled out, pretty calm, cool, and collected. There's Darksided on your screen. Their logo being an eagle. We've got some birdie jokes coming up, surely, James. A couple of metaphors involving claws and picking up vermin. Surely, maybe. We'll put those in the back pocket and reach for those when we need to. I mean, I'm scraping the barrel at the moment. It's the first game of the day.
Yeah, it's really hurting my brain.
Well, we'll get there, James. Don't worry. I'll give you a damn aneurysm, son. Don't you worry.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they caught the bird flu in that first hard point. It's time to get into the search and destroy and reset, rethink their strategy. Not in terms of obviously search and destroy strategies. I'm sure they've got that locked away in the back of the brain to bring out in the game. But their strategy in general, how they want to approach a team like Infamous that have such dominating players in search and destroy. I mean, I'm looking at Envious again. Azzy, of course, is such an intelligent player, always has been throughout his career, and that's why he's had the success he's had, because he's so cerebral with the work that he does on the map.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like this is a very solid mid-tier battle going down here. You know, neither of these teams, we're not expecting them to crack into the top 3. As I said, there's no fairy tale stories at that end of Call of Duty in the APAC region. But yeah, this is a very, very good matchup in terms of one team, you know, Infamous, highly experienced. They've been around for a long time. They've got a lot of professional play under their belt. High stakes games been played. These guys have been around for a long time. Then on Darksided, a little bit of both. You know, I feel like there's maybe not necessarily the same stakes being played for, not that same international level that we saw at the stage finals and whatnot. Yeah. But look, these guys are here. They're hungry. They've been playing for the last 2 days solid, and they're keen to get something here.
I feel like Darksided, what's great about their position here is there's no pressure on them. So they can just, you know, go into this one free-nilly and just try and play their own game. Whereas Infamous, I'm sure that not only their fans and, you know, people behind the scenes and other teams, because of their experience, expect them to do well.
Themselves as well.
Well, exactly.
No one's a harsher critic.
They hold themselves to a high esteem. They are very good players. They have shown that across the years. They're going to be very disappointed if they can't get the win here.
Oh, don't let yourself down. It hurts too much. And don't live with regret, guys. Life lessons coming from the desk here at CWL Sydney Open 1. Game number 2, we're about to kick this one back off. It's going to be Search and Destroy on Scorch. Darksided versus Infamous. Infamous up by 1 in the series so far. And yeah, basically the same stuff in the rig. We did have a controller issue which slowed us down a teeny weeny bit. And I know what you're thinking. That's not a teabag that is getting flung around on stage. It's actually a hand warmer, which seems to be part of the Armored COD player starter kit between the Yeezys. The Yeezys
No, the Yeezys are definitely there.
Yeah.
The hand warmers, I think that's just a general esports thing now. I think it broke out in other titles earlier, and it came into Call of Duty in the last year and a half or so. But I mean, it's one of those things, right? If your hands aren't warm, you're not going to have the reactions that you would otherwise. So using those, that's the way to get the advantage.
Yeah, professional athletes, they stretch, they warm up before playing their sports. Runners do a couple of stretches. We've seen Usain Bolt do all sorts of cool things. You know, tennis players, they do some weird stuff before they start their runs. And now gamers doing the same stuff. As you can see, these two just like to salute to each other. That ain't weird at all. I've been in pub games. I've done it myself. Don't be judging, guys. This is it, folks. Game number 2. We're underway for realsies this time. We'll kick this one off with Kitty. Envious as he runs this big old wall run. And I'm getting, oh my goodness. Look how nerdy this is.
Look at that spot.
Oh, he's such a dirty nerd. I love it. As he got first blood on Brownie here, and the snipes haven't really been happening. This back and forth already. Cones last man alive for his team, and it's going to be a B site. He's way out in the open. His pants around his ankles. He's going to make something special happen here, but he's got 2 players in a pinch against 1. Clutch kill, goes for the second, and it's a 2v1 situation that Darksided walk away from.
The fact that he was able to pick up that assault rifle and instantly get the best of COD timing right there, that was sick from him. But he went up against a player with his back turn, and then obviously Envious. He had no idea which way he was going to come, the window or the door. He had a scope out. What are you supposed to do there?
Kitty fell short there. He just managed to turn at the wrong time, and boy, did it hurt him. I mean, really, that's a big win for Darksided Cones. 2-0. Brilliant stuff from him. That's the first round Darksided's hand. We'll have a jump on board with Infamous on the offense. Envious now, back with that snipe in hand. Going for something huge, doesn't manage to make it happen. It's going to be backing up. Gunfights now ensuing. Tagged up heavily. Azzy and Perko get kills. Azzy's on a second. We'll jump on board with Spades. 2v2 right now.
Spades, he's been doing so well so far at this event. He's been showing up on a big scale here. Envious helping him out. Envious, I hope he's picked up an assault rifle to, you know, bolster their support there. But he's still using that scope, so an interesting thing to see that. But Darksided, they've rotated to A here, so if Infamous are not too careful, they might be able to find out this information, get the bomb down, and work towards that. But it looks like they're going to go for the rotate here. They're just circling around the map. This could be so close here. If the Darksided players aren't too careful, they're going to continue their rotation. Infamous are getting the bomb down on A, and that is going to be the 2v2 retake.
It's a large-scale ring around a Rosies, a pocket full of posies, a tissue, and in a moment, 2 players are about to fall down. Envious still with that snipe in hand. We're going to see how this play unfolds from the defensive perspective. Envious was sniping the corridor. Actually, and look, I think this is about to play right into Kitty's hands. Yeah. This is absolutely ideal for him. If the timing works for him, he's probably going to be able to get a pick. He does get the information, and here we go. Here's the gunfight. Goes for the snipe, tags the body shot, doesn't manage to make it happen. Goes for the second, gets him. It's a 1v2 situation. Cones, can he make it happen again? He gets 1. It's back to Kitty. Can he make it second time? He almost does. Cones, he's unstoppable. The man is a machine. He gets his wrong, though. Kitty, run! His life is on the line here. He's got 4 seconds left. He manages to not happen again, Kitty.
That was so smart from Kitty. He just ran. He was out of there. He's like, he booked it. 10 seconds left. He knows that there's no chance. If he can't get the kill, he's not going to be able to get the defuse. And that's what we're talking about with him, Envious. He's such a smart player on Search and Destroy. He probably instinctively, he probably didn't even look at the clock. He probably just knew that he didn't have time.
That's unfortunate for Darksided. You know, if Kitty had been taken down there was potential for them to get 1 more defuse there, but the time wasn't exactly in their favor. Lovely stuff. We'll stay on board with Darksided again as they have the offensive round now. Cones with snipe, not really going to happen here, so here comes the big old push towards B. All 4 members of Infamous in position to slow down the B push. It is going to go down here. B-bomb, Spades gets first blood. Perko trades back with the refrag. Cones has already got his payload at the ready. He's having a superb series so far. Tied 1-1. 4-0. Big kills from Cones in the back end, man. He's having a good shot. Perko still alive. 2v3 at the moment. Infamous with the disadvantage.
I'm hoping that Envious doesn't have the scope in this situation. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's going to go down there, leaving flares in a 1v3 here. I know that he's got it in him, but he hasn't been able to get too much done so far. Can he get the player planting the bomb there? Shaky shots from him, and now he's revealed his position, but he will find the first one there. Bomb does go down. He's probably going to get pinched from both sides. At the same time, he goes past the player. He turns around, gets that kill. It's now a 1v1. Turns around once again. The player flying out the door here, just trading shots. How is no one dead just as of yet? Perko versus Flares. He spots him in the corner, but Perko's going to get that kill. Flares almost making a 1v3.
Oh my good God, Flares. My heart can't take this early on a Sunday morning, but it's Championship Sunday, so we're going to suck it up. Perko clutching up. Wow. Okay, when he turned with the shockwave,
I thought he had him.
Peed a tiny bit. Tiniest little bit of tinkle came out. I might have to change after this one. 2-1 already. Darksided versus Infamous is a series to remember. Cones, we've talked about him earlier, 6-1. He's got Trinity, Rocket, and Scarab in the backpack. We'll kick this one off with him, even though they're on defense, because, frankly, he's playing out of his goddamn mind.
Yeah, he's got the scope out as well. That matchup against Envious there. He's going to spot a player sliding towards the B-bomb site. Might be able to get the shoulder peek here, but no, Spades is going to absolutely gun him down there, giving the man advantage to Infamous very early on in the round here.
They haven't got the bomb down just as of yet. They're trying to play quite passively, but if you look at the top of the map there, it's going to be Perko on a massive flank, and he just went straight past 2 of the Infamous players who went through mid, so this could be interesting. But once again, Brownie, he's going to go down, yet to get a kill in this one. Yoshi tries to trade him out. He gets Spades, the key player for Infamous at the moment here. The Flare's still alive. He's already doing so well. 1v3. Make that a 1v2 though. Perko's being able to get 1 kill, but it's not going to get any more. Infamous leveling things out there, and that was a much more controlled round from Infamous.
Yeah, super slow. Infamous played that one really slowly, but they did exactly what they needed to. Perfect pinch towards the end, and then look at that. Flares catching that player out all on his lonesome as he went for the big old flank, but in that time, you know, unfortunate timing. If he'd been a little faster, he may have been able to catch him before the pinch went down and save his teammate. But hey, these are how it happens. We're going to jump on board with Darkside on this offensive round. Cones has been doing great. 6-2, no kills to Brownie. On the other side of the board, Flares is going 5-3. Beautiful stuff from him. We almost saw that ridiculous comeback 3v1 situation. This is a way to start the round. He doesn't manage to land anything, but you know that those players are there, and this is actually huge. Look at this wrap coming around the side. Cones is all alone. You can see 3 players from Infamous making a big old push towards back end of B. There is a Scarab out, and you can see the top left-hand corner. It did hit player number 7, which was actually Envious. He's still alive. Here comes a flank. He's aware of it, though. We'll stay on with Cones. He's got 2 players coming in from behind. His teammates are going to be dealing with that player in mid-map. Cones, this is huge. You can see them on the mini-map making their play through the right-hand side. It's about to happen. They're going to come through that doorway.
Flares.
He's going to scope him. He doesn't manage to make it happen. He gets taken down.
That was so unfortunate. His scope was just above the head of Flares, who slid in there, but Flares is not going to be able to do anything when he picks that one up here. Brownie, he's trying to get some tags in there. Sorry, I jumbled my words, but man, he was in a tough situation, and still, as far as I'm aware, yet to get a kill.
Well, he actually caught that last play with the hip fire only just.
Yes,
So he's got himself off the donut, and he's moving on to lower carbs in the form of the breadstick.
Yeah.
James 3-2, Infamous just taking the lead here, but this is a very closely contested S&D. So far, not too much excitement happening around the A site. B has been the go-to. See how the boys in blue, Infamous, kick this one off. Envious with bomb in hand. I want to call him Kitty, but he's going with Envious these days. That's fine. We're just wrong with Envious. Don't want to confuse the viewers at home. Envious making the big play as he goes for the kill on Yoshi, excuse me, gets that first one. Straight away with the bomb on. This is what we want.
Yeah, Infamous, they're playing this one so well. Darksided, they went for a 3-man push towards A, not spotting anything, and this Scarab is going to tell all, but as I say that, obviously the bomb does get planted, so nevertheless, Darksided now know they need to make their way towards the B bomb site here. 3 players are going to be watching behind from Infamous, and that's not necessarily where they need to be looking here, because all of Darksided are pushing in from the same direction. They don't have all the information they need just as of yet here. But Darksided, they've reduced it to a 3v3.
Darksided so aggressive, 18 seconds on the clock, make something happen here, and oh my good god, Perko with the drop bear, out of nowhere, Flares last man alive for Infamous, 10 seconds on the clock, he's got to defend that bomb, it can't happen, there we go. Well, we saw an absolutely clean drop bear play, and that is exactly what we wanted.
Yeah.
Shockwave for those at home who aren't totally in on the joke. So there we go, clean round to Infamous, smart plays, they managed to get the bomb down, defend it. Props to Darksided though.
I wanted to see Flares chase that kill though after the 7.5 seconds were there, after there was not a chance he could get the defuse. Chase that kill because you're so close to getting your payload. Look at him. I think he's got reactive armor, and if he had got that kill, he would have had that payload to work with, but it's not going to be the case. Perko staying alive though can continue his streak. Oh, sorry, he wasn't on a streak there. I don't know what just happened, but Yosh, he's going to trade out for 2 there as he going down, as well as Spades now a 2v3 in favor of this Darksided squad here. Infamous, they need to rethink their approach to this defense here and group up, win these 2v1 gunfights. They could potentially still do it here. Bomb will get planted, and now it's up to Infamous to retake.
Oh look, it's all going to go down in this position now. The timing. The player, Yosh, just moved around the corner, and now he's going to get tagged. Perfect trade. It's now all on Envious. 1v1. Envious versus Perko. Bomb is down. 30 seconds left on the clock. Oh, they're going. Okay, this is it. They're going to maybe make something happen here. Envious, you know, experience is going to come into play here. Take this one slow. He's got to get the defuse. 20 seconds left. Now the clock is not his friend. Maybe. Wants to make it happen. Shots are out. Doesn't manage to get the kill. Reactive armor. Clutches it up in the final second there. But James, was it worth it? Reactive to win the round? It's not exactly like game-changing yet, but we'll see if that one pays off in the long run. Perko making that call. He knew he was in the disadvantage in that gunfight. Turned the tables with his payload.
It's hard to say here because obviously they were down 2 rounds. If they went down 3, that was going to be game point for Infamous there, so maybe it was a worthwhile investment to use that reactive armor to stay within a 1 point game here. But we are going to be seeing Flares. He has picked up his reactive armor to use in the future. Flares, Envious, and Azzy all combining for 3 kills, leaving Cones in a 1v4. And this is the toughest situation. He's got the scope. He gets pinched from every angle. And Infamous, they're going up match point.
That was a straight execution. Cones was right in the middle of a menage a trois that no one wants to be a part of. And here you can see from Azzy's perspective, he took the back. Looks like Envious took the front. Thanks for your time, friend. That's one for the memory books.
Time for Infamous to win this one. It is their map to lose. Darksided, they can definitely get back into it. We know that these players have the potential. Perko is going 10 for 5. The man is on a mission to try and get his team out of the slump, but still Brownie with just 1 kill here is definitely letting down his team at the moment. Perko, he's going to be the bomb carrier this time around. I'd be interested to see whether or not Flares uses his payload. Speaking of using things, here's the Scarab out, trying to get some information plays. Not going to happen. Did spot 1 player, but that's not really going to be enough for this squad to work off. Infamous now. They're going to be getting streaks out. Oh, sorry, rather, Darksided getting streaks out. Doesn't find anything. Perko, though, he gets 2 kills onto Envious and Azzy, leaving it in a 2v3 situation, favoring Darksided. Cones has actually picked up his FTL jump, I believe, again. Flares still yet to use that reactive armor. He could potentially use it here to clutch up the game, or is it better to wait in the case that it does go to a later round, around 11 potentially, who knows, but now Spades in a 1v3 situation. This is going to be so tough for the man. He's got 30 seconds to work with, 3 players to find. Can't get the first one. I think he actually got shot in the back. We'll have to see in the final kill cam, but there it is. Now Darksided, they bring it 1 more back, and it's still within 1 round of this victory.
Darksided clutching up. We had to see Cones use his Trinity rocket there while not getting any kills. The information obviously proving invaluable.
Yeah.
1 round in this one. Infamous on match point. Everything now comes down to this. We've only got Cones with his FTL jump ready. Flares on the other side of the board has got his reactive armor. We saw that win an entire round for Darksided earlier. Yoshi's not far away from his payload as well. Azzy and Envious 2 for the side of Infamous. Here comes the engagement. Big shots from Flares. Gets a second. Can he make it a third? This is huge.
Oh,
he does.
Flares.
My good God. Flares, Perko, Yosh, and Brownie. See you later, fellas. That is a guaranteed round win now. It's all on Cones. He's been a hero for the game so far, but what a way to close it out. Infamous 6-4.
That was sick from Flares. I mean, I've been talking about it. He needs to step up on Championship Sunday, get back into the game, get back into that slaying role that he's so good at, and being the aggressor here. That 3-piece was insane.
I want to put the 3-piece down to maybe a mistake. I think the Shockwave, if he'd managed to get the Shockwave off of the dumpster, off of the trash compactor, it might have saved him, but pff, dude, beaming.
Guys, what a thriller of a search and destroy right there. This series, you know, to kick us off for the day, it was pretty one-sided for the hard point, but a little bit more action in the search and destroy. Obviously, you know, jam-packed full of action. Millboss, what are some standout moments from that as we go through the highlights?
So there has to be the clutch situations that were won by both teams there. Cones, obviously, we saw in that first round, able to win the clutch 1v2. Here again, Envious, he ran out of time. Oh, sorry, Cones ran out of time. Envious just toyed with him, ran away, didn't allow Cones to get that kill. You know, so many moments came down to that clutch 1-on-1, 2-on-2 situations that both teams had quite a bit of success winning.
Yeah, Perko, super clutch plays from him. And on the other side, Cones managed to get a great round win himself, pretty much in a 2v1 or even a 3v1 situation. And this was a glorious turn from Flares. I mean, Flares playing out of his goddamn mind in this entire game. You know, you saw that final 3-piece. It was just a delight to watch. Great stuff. You know, there it was. More Flares action. And that was early in the round, James.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for these 2 teams on the first search and destroy. I mean, that sort of goes to show the experience that Infamous have over potentially Darksided. As I said, I haven't seen too much from them, but they just didn't really, you know, they weren't able to close out some of their more dominant rounds, you know, almost going down to that 1v3 from Flares. You can't allow that sort of situation to happen where it comes down to that 1v1 when you have a 3-man advantage. That's a sticky situation, but Infamous, they clutched up when they needed to, and they proved with their experience that they are the better team on Search and Destroy, at least on this map. I would be interested to know if they love this map or not, because that was quite good in some of those rounds.
Well, now I love this map. I wasn't a Scorch fan before, but after watching this series, call me a convert. I'm going to get a tattoo across my chest that says Mars loves Scorch for life. Perko now. More just these highlights, just not ending. That was fine. We did see the Trinity Rockets come out there. This was the the fourth round win, sorry, for the boys in yellow, Dark-Sided. They did a great job of closing this one out, and they forced FaZe into an impossible winning situation and absolutely shut him down. But we are getting closer and closer to that three-piece, which was possibly the best way to close out a Search and Destroy game. Again, both teams pretty even thus far, dude, but their Search and Destroy was where we were really going to play it out. Here's the three-piece. I mean, that is just flawless. Brownie, super unfortunate there, man. I think, or maybe it was, sorry, it was Perko was the last player. He wanted that Shockwave to take him just below that container, the trash compactor there. Hey, man, pixels are what makes the difference between winners and losers.
Yeah, well, you talked about the killing capacity of Azzy in that first map. He turned it up here. He got 11 kills as well as Flares with 12. Two players to hit double digits like that, that shows the strengths of this team. And I'm excited to see where they take that momentum, potentially carrying through to the uplink. I'm excited.
As we all should be, gentlemen, after that Search and Destroy. Obviously, Infamous up now 2-0 in this best-of-5 series, which, with a bit of math, which hopefully I can put together, that means there's only a potential one map remaining if Infamous can lock it down right here. Dark-Sided potentially facing elimination from CWL Sydney Open 1 presented by PS4. Miles, the pressure's got to be on them now.
Yeah, man, Dark-Sided, they've been playing for 2 days pretty much solid. They haven't dropped too many games. They're on a 6-win streak, but I have a very strong suspicion that that's about to come to an end.
James, will Dark-Sided find the light here in this uplink?
They have to. I mean, this is the crunch time. This is where they need to be able to get this map at least to start things off, looking towards that potential reverse sweep. There's no other way for it. They have to be able to go lights out in this map here and try and bring this one back. But at this point, I can't see it going that way.
Those of you joining us live in the ESL studio in Sydney, Australia, along with those of you tuning in at home on MLG.TV, thank you for joining us. This is the CWL Sydney Open 1 presented by PS4. Get that hashtag trending. It's hashtag CWL Sydney, as well as the official hashtag of the Call of Duty World League, CWL PS4. Get it hyped up in here. This is the first event for the Asia Pacific calendar for competitive Call of Duty. We've got teams from all over. We've got our Kiwi brothers along with our Asian neighbors, all competing here for $30,000 in prize money and 10,000 pro points for the winners. Obviously so important as we head into CWL Dallas. Miles, of course, the last event to get points to qualify for the Global LAN League.
Global LAN Leagues. Oh, there's such a ton of exciting things coming up for us, Josh, but let's dial it back a bit, guys. We're still in Game 3 here in the losers bracket. Dark-Sided playing for their tournament lives here up against Infamous, who have been laying the smackdown on these jabronis thus far. Precinct is going to be the site of this uplink. We're going to see if the boys in yellow in-game, of course, in real life, they're kind of in the red court. You can see them wearing those very nice Dark-Sided jerseys. Dark-Sided logo being a kind of mean-looking eagle. Big fan of that logo. I do like that one, James. And the Infamous logo.
It's a decent logo.
Oh, it's a decent, dude. A good logo will send you flying. Speaking of good logos, ViewSonic. Thanks very much for the monitors. And Astro, your headsets are the bomb. This has been a killer event so far.
I don't think you realize what you just did there. Good logos will get you flying.
Oh,
Dark-Sided.
nice.
Eagle.
That's another bird joke.
You
Goodness.
You didn't even think about that. That was natural.
Both feet were on the ground. I'm just a strange person to be able to do that.
I can agree with that.
That's a strange talent to have and not even know it. Well, who do you want to kick this one off with, James? We've got Infamous playing real hot right now, but Dark-Sided, a couple of standout players from their S&D. You've got to be feeling their skill at this stage.
I want to start off with Brownie, see how he can get back into this one after a very lackluster performance in their Search and Destroy. It took him until something like I think it might have been 6th, 7th round before he finally got a kill, and then he only ended up with 2 by the end of the game. Cones had a great game, so I'm excited to see how he carries that over, or if he's going to get put down in the dumps because of that loss. Who knows, but Brownie, he's going to be kicking us off here, ladies and gentlemen. Potentially the last map of this first series on stream today at the CWL Sydney Open #1 presented by PlayStation 4. And it is the name of the game, Uplink, on Precinct here. And Infamous, they're trying to get this early mid-map control. They've been able to get a 3 down, and potentially they can make a drone run here.
Envious doing just that, staying alive, getting 3 kills in a row, almost. Cones strolling them down. One thing I want to go back to is just having a look through who set up what for each kill streak. Perko is actually running a Warden, so hopefully you can see some some exciting things there. Flares now has drone in hand. He's going to make a play happen. Does he have the support of his teammates? Yes, he does. Kills are happening in the name of Infamous. They're going off the streets. They have a little bit of support between each other, but they've got to make these clutch kills. There's players sitting in T. Looks like the win did go down at Azzy. So here, it's almost an open field. We've got Flares running drone. Azzy's by the goal. He needs to make this one work. Is he going to go for the pass? Passes to Azzy. Azzy goes for the shot. He misses it. He's going to have to get this kill on this player. They kill the satellite runner. He is going to have to turn it around. Flares, you got to make this happen, son. The streets are clean. He goes for the second one and dunks it home.
Somehow they finally get that one in, but to see how Darksided reacts to this, we're going to go to an Astro listen in and hear their thoughts.
I can't see where they're going with ball. Nice, big win. There you go, Tetsu. Turn around,
Top.
Someone get ticket alley,
Top. I got alley. Top again, Spades.
Easy play, he went back.
Alright,
Let's play Tetsu, play Tetsu. Nolan, you go T. Nolan, you go T.
Z.
He's tagged,
Unlucky.
Cool, what you looking at?
Going up high. Tetsu did it.
Hey, 3 dead looking for spades, 3 dead looking for spades.
Outside of T. Pick that up.
Got him.
Yeah, nice, pre-kill.
I'm going T.
Yeah, push. They're gonna go T. We spawned up.
I'm here with you. I'm aiming T.
Ah, cute, man, come on.
I'm just aiming T.
Tell me if you can. I didn't see that guy. It's playing for my kill. It's
T. One more T. Boss one.
Keep.
Probably gonna go stat.
The name T. T down. No, we'll go one. Get flank.
Ali
tagged, pushing. He went into top ticket. Top side, one ball. Statues one ball.
I'm pushing him.
Get T. Right, stat one side. Maze. Two maze.
Go on.
One's outside statue. Cube.
Up to the side, let's go. I'm coming.
Take. Left side.
I got naded.
Another one. Nice cone.
Alright, 3. Envious last, he's bottom.
Press up, he's sign. Low sign. He's on the left side.
Play kills.
Come on, nice. Two portal. 3.
I'm aiming left.
KT flank, we said it again.
I'll get you flank again.
Nice, go. Bori,
Well close, they're gonna be T.
Let's go.
Turn around. Spades probably last that side. Can you get the ball out? Try and whip the ball out.
One's on the point dead. Get on that point. They're going. New.
One shot on their point. Daniel on the point. Nice, that's a 2.
Behind it. Nice one, Bori. Hang on,
Cube. Have you got T?
Just stand alive, Cube.
I'm coming stat, okay? Can you stay alive, stat? They're coming to me.
T.
Hey, one boss one, as you boss one tagged.
One more cube.
I'm going stat.
Alley.
2 top ticket, 1 alley. Aim up, out of...
Take. Another one.
Nice.
Josh.
Who else is it?
Ticket fight. He went back in, ticket. Nice.
A good insight there into how Darksided are thinking. Team Infamous, they've been able to gather 6 points on the board. Darksided only have responded with a 2, but something that I gathered from those comms that we just heard is Darksided. They seem to be clashing heads, and their call-outs just sound so desperate.
A little bit frustrating at times when you're making those plays happen, but look, great pressure from them. They managed to get a dunk, and now we've still got Infamous on the offensive. Perko, though, never say die. He's in a nice position to get a pinch hit, gets one. We saw a beautiful 3-piece from him earlier. Can he make it a second? He does indeed. Perko, 13-8, working big for his team, and another one. Huge kills, and he cannot be stopped. Perko kills a whole team. Cones has drone now. This is huge for Darksided. They need something special now. There was the dunk. I couldn't even see it. Why look away when Perko's shooting like this?
Perko is going nuts right now. A 6-kill streak, 100 points away from that Trinity rocket. He needs to stay alive, but he's going to get found in the backside by Spades there. Absolutely spanked off the face of the map here. Yoshi going for an over-the-top throw there. Not going to be able to land that one. So the drone will get reset in the middle of the map. But one thing I've noticed in the last maybe 20 seconds is Infamous have lost all mid-map control. Going for that drone, they haven't been successful, and they've been on the defensive for quite a while now.
Look, 22 seconds left, well, 20 seconds left in the game now, and it looks like, Darksided, they've managed to find their footing here in Uplink. Can they push this to a game 4? We'll find out shortly. I mean, the first half has been good for them. Second half is all going to be to play for. Drone now finally in the hands of Infamous. Can they make a play happen in 5 seconds? It'd be a miracle if it does. Are we going to see a buzzer beater? We haven't seen too many, and there it goes! Wow, okay.
Wow.
I don't know whether that went through it because the clock had finished.
It did, yeah.
Or because, oh my sweet jumping Jesus.
That was so close.
That'd have been a scream. That'd have been a real treat for us.
Yeah.
Unlucky. Look at that. He managed to make the throw happen. Still, amazing stuff from both sides. Perko going absolutely ham, doing huge work for his team, bringing the score back to 4-6.
Yep.
One dunk separates these teams.
But now it's Darksided's game. They're on the preferred side, heading in towards that ticket booth area.
Infamous, they got to defend this one heavily, and first kill's going to go in favor of Darksided. Cone's able to pull that drone. There's going to be one player to contest, and that's Azzy playing on the defensive offense in a way. And he gets the drone out as well, up against Perko, just trying to stay alive in this Z compartment of the map. He's not going to be able to do him. Azzy, he's going off. He's just absolutely gunning players from Darksided. And you look at the kills on Infamous, 3 of their players have 15 kills.
Look, Josh was just in a position to try to do something, but 3 dead already is going to be a bad look for them. Flares now going to be looking for the dunk, does manage to land it. They've now doubled the score, 8-4. This is what you want as an Infamous fan. They're in position to maybe get a second relay, but as you can see, Darksided have just swarmed mid-map. There is 3 guys in there now. Perko managed to get a kill as he gets one. Drone control now in the hands of Darksided. Perko in the streets. Can they get a repeat of the last round? Going to go for that point. I think they're going to hope for the dunk. They've got 1 guy in alleyway. That was all they needed. 6 now to 8. They're tying this one up with 4 minutes left on the clock. We'll have a quick look at Cones. Everyone is dying left, right, and center as control falls back into the hands of Infamous, and now this looks like a pretty solid push from them.
Well, it's time to hear what they have to say because they are on the offensive here. Let's go to another listen in, this time with Team Infamous.
There's 2, 1 grab ball. Let's go, we got to stop
Ali.
2.
Nice, boys.
Wait, I'm going around. You guys go start.
Who's that? 1, 2, 1
No, we need
ball.
you, we need
1,
you.
2,
No,
1
no,
ball.
I'm going through ball then.
1, 2, 1 ball.
Got 1 flanking.
I'm to get nice then.
Yeah,
Oh, 1Z.
I'm mowing right.
him. Z now,
I'm getting ball control.
Nice,
One
nice.
ball. Perko's dead.
Nice, bring it down.
Bottom,
Ball again,
Nolan.
turns.
Oh,
Get the other me,
Billboard.
I just overdrive. You gotta get that kill.
Billboard.
Billboard still. Dead.
I
More
went
down
for
low,
one.
down low.
Down low, 1 shot, dead.
Nice. On base.
Base dead.
I'm throwing it out to you.
One more, bottom.
He's got out.
That's 3 if you kill him.
I'm spading. 2. I got one. One
more top, one top.
I throw it down, back down.
I got 1. Brownie pushing cube now.
3 cube.
Someone watch me straight.
One in ball, Re.
Ball actually.
I'm going to Bori now.
On the stat, let's follow him.
Bori going hallway, flanking you.
Still.
Flanking
Stat.
hallway. Nolan's flanking hallway.
Oh, you pushed me. Orange top.
Yeah, Nolan flanked hallway.
Let's try here. I'm flying alley. Watch out alley. Try.
One front. Go, Ali, watch Ali.
Push Ali with it.
You missed. Let's go. Mid. Nice.
Let's go right.
Yeah.
Let's go right, bring it back to start. I'm bringing it back to start.
Alright. One on my cube.
Behind you.
One on the actual cube, on the top of the cube.
Pushing it.
One gonna be in Bori soon.
Yeah, one's mid as well.
On the cube.
Oh, there's one here, one there. One there, on the ball.
Yeah,
Go, 2, there's a 4 down. 4 dead. 4's dead. 4 dead.
Watch
Can't
it low.
even
One.
speak.
Oh, in. There's just OE off this. Go on. I'm coming back. Pass me stat if you can.
I'm one shot.
2 full OE. 3 full OE.
Pass.
Holy fuck,
Pass it
there's
up
2
to
more
me.
full OE.
Pass
That's
it
a
up to
2.
me. Go back,
I'll pass
pass
it,
it, Pat, go back.
Yep. Mid again. Cones. 4 away. They help.
Wait, I'm using my Trinity.
Full OE.
Yeah, watch
Trinity.
me.
I'm using my
Okay,
Trinity.
one stat, man. It was sorry, Brownie and
Yeah,
Perko.
2 straight.
Nice, go straight.
Still hallway. Gate corner. Dead.
Nice, go.
Oh, one in ball. Oh my
I'm
god.
still on their point.
It's one pink, one ball, Yosh.
One's on me.
No one's in ball. I throw it down.
Well, that was an extremely effective listening from Infamous. You can hear the communication on point. Really just running this one home, 13-6. Darksided, they looked great. It was working out for him, but now you've got Envious fully streaked out. Bombardment at the ready should he need it. It's 15-6 now. They got a throw in during that time. James, the boys in blue are just looking too damn strong.
They got so many relays while we were listening in. It was great to hear the communication, what they're talking about, and it's as a comparison to what we heard from Darksided, they're quite calm, they're collected, they're very much focusing on the gameplay and their setup. You know, it seemed like Darksided were just calling out players' positions, whereas Infamous, they're talking about, you know, okay, let's push this lane, let's make that strat happen. And that's really valuable to hear for any, you know, amateur players that want to work this one out. But as I say that, Darksided, they do get a 2-point play in the book, so it's not over yet until the fat lady sings 25 seconds remaining. There's still time to get a couple more dunks, but I think it might just be over here.
No, Darksided, their resurgence in the final moments there. We saw a great play from them. Perko with a little bit of ducking and diving. You mentioned he used that shockwave to strafe in the tiniest confines of the drone area there. So beautiful stuff from them. Again, it's just going to be not enough. And the likes of Darksided now, they are seconds away from being eliminated here from CWL Sydney Open 1. They had a sweet run, but like all good things, it must come to an end. And there it is, guys, 3-0, 15-8. Infamous gonna be a victors here.
That was a great showing from them. They have definitely changed up how they were playing compared to to yesterday and the day before. They, looked a little shaky at times. This matchup right here, they were dominating for pretty much the majority of the series.
Gentlemen, dark times for Dark-Sided as they will be eliminated from CWL Sydney Open 1, presented by PS4. A great performance by Infamous, and they will be progressing through the lower bracket here for this event. Look, guys, a few things to take away from that last uplink, but look, what were some standout plays? Miles, I saw a few good throws in there, a few missed ones as well, and one right at the buzzer for halftime, which, man, I thought it was through. I would have given that to Shaq.
Yeah, we'd have. If I had the rule book, if I could bend the code of the game, if I could dive into the PlayStation and make it work, I would, but I can't. Either way, great stuff from both teams. Supremely clutch plays, Azzy, and we heard his comms crystal clear. Even when he makes a mistake, he laughs it all off, and the team was so composed. Everyone was having a good time, and that shows. If you're having fun, as serious as this is, we're still playing a game, guys. You got to enjoy yourself.
Of course.
We saw Infamous obviously get 2 points on the board. It only took 60 seconds to do so, and that lead only extended 5-0 here, and they just kept going. There's signs of life coming out of Dark-Sided here. Perko picked up a nice two-piece and made it 3 as well, as we saw. There was a minute left in the half when they were 4 behind, but even though they were hitting shots like that, James, it just wasn't enough.
No, it wasn't. I mean, it was a solid minute or so, especially while we had that listen-in with Infamous, that they just completely pushed out Dark-Sided from their spawn on the non-preferred side. So they made that work for them in the second half here, Infamous. And you can see this. You can see right here, they were spawning down at the cherry blossom tree near Sushi. That's almost as far away as you can spawn from that point.
What a stellar performance from Infamous to continue their run here in the championship bracket of CWL Sydney Open 1, presented by PS4. Once again, good on the guys from Dark-Sided for at least making this far. 30 teams in attendance this weekend, guys. For the trivia fans at home, that is a record for the Asia Pacific region. Prior to this, it was in 2014 at an Australian Cyber League event for Ghosts, where we had 24 teams. So here for Infinite Warfare, a couple of years later, we're smashing it by 6, and I'm sure when we do eventually get to CWL Sydney Open 2, we're probably going to hopefully break that record.
Well, the sky's the limit, man. The scene's thriving right now, and the quality of the gameplay is showing it. I mean, everyone's had a great time talking to the players in the pit next door. I keep calling it the pit. It's not really a pit. It's just a room full of consoles.
I reckon the pit sounds good.
The pit sounds kind of... We're going to... Okay, well, hey,
we'll
trademark that one. Yeah, man, everyone's been having a great time so far. The weather may have sucked, but we've been indoors the whole time, so things have been absolutely heating up in here.
If you didn't catch the entire series, we'll check out the series overview in just a second, but it was a 3-0, pretty swiftly done for Team Infamous, and James, that hard point was done and dusted very, very quick.
Oh, it was over before it began there. Infamous, their rotations were on point. We were pointing out Azzy, he was so good at getting into the back of the spawn of Dark-Sided, flipping it when he needed to, gaining it back when they needed to, and there's just nothing Dark-Sided could do to get back into that one.
Yeah, the Search and Destroy was a real firecracker of a game. We had some serious drama. We saw some immense plays from Cones, winning some 3v1 situations. He got a 2v1 as well. Essentially it was a drama-filled game to be found. Extremely exciting stuff from them. And James, tell us about Precinct.
That was huge from Infamous. I mean, I have to give it to Dark-Sided. That first half, they stayed on their toes. They were so close behind Infamous, they could have done it. But when they got to the preferred side, they just got slayed out so heavily. I don't know how that happened, but Infamous, they just became gods.
It was a great performance by Infamous. As we know, Dark-Sided now eliminated from the competition.
Yeah.
Oh, so much action still to take place. Remember, guys, they are playing for $30,000 in prize money, 10,000 pro points for the winners. And James, we've talked about it time and time again. How important are these pro points?
The most important thing this season with the Call of Duty World League and how it works.
I mean, we've seen over the course of the 2Ks, you know, there's been a lot of different results varying between Tainted Minds, Mindfreak, Chiefs most recently. And Tainted Minds and Mindfreak, they're miles ahead of pretty much everyone else, whereas we have Chiefs who are hotly contesting them with about 30,000 points of their own. If they win this event, they get the 10K. They will move up just in contention, and they'll be vouching for a spot going to Dallas. And once you get to Dallas, the team that gets to Dallas that wins the most there, guaranteed Pro League LAN spot for the Call of Duty World League.
Obviously, CWL Dallas going to be the next event on the global calendar, and it is the last event to get your pro points to qualify for the Global LAN League, as James and I were just discussing. But let's have a quick look at the bracket, guys, because we've got some great updates and just some more conversation to take place with what's happening here. Now, as we know, we just had Infamous versus Darksided. It's not updated here, guys, but they, of course, did get a victory, the Infamous boys. Now, throughout this bracket, there's going to be some great matches. Validate Red versus Apotheon is taking place. Prodigy Esports, obviously a very, very strong team, is taking on the best out of Asia, the Sony Asia champs, Unveil Nova. But we have got a treat coming up for you guys soon, because down in that lower bracket, Garlic Bread versus Rebellious. Rebellious, the team, you know, they have some of the how would you say, the most fired up young guns on the squad. That's Beaston's team. He claimed he was changing the game. He's trying to change it against Garlic Bread. They have just hit Game 5, and Miles, I actually think we're going to be joining that one very shortly.
We are absolutely ready to dive into this one. I've got my swimming shorts on. James, you got your flippers, your snorkel. Let's get wet and find out how this one's going to go down, because this is an extremely exciting game. We've got Rebellious. This is Game 5 so far. You know, this has been a hot series, and we're going to jump in right at the climax of this one. It is going to be an S&D on Retaliation. Good golly, Miss Molly, this is going to be a sweet one.
I'm excited for this. Just
the pen's gone.
It's gone.
It's completely gone. I better get that back.
You might need it later. No, I'm excited for this one because Rebellious has been underperforming this whole weekend long. They finally are now starting to show up against a team that we know can just cut through others with the knife that has cut through them before as well from other teams. So, you know, it's going back and forth. They're trying to get back into this one, and once again, everything's on the line here. It's Game 5, Search and Destroy, vouching for their spot, and whoever loses is gone.
It's gone. And we talked about it earlier on in the weekend. We said that Rebellious were underperforming and that they may need to be in the losers brackets to really find themselves. And it's kind of like that scene in Batman where he stands in amongst all the bats, and all of a sudden, life makes total sense. I need to be a Batman. I feel like this is the moment for Rebellious. They're in the lower bracket. Things are about to go down. Can we see a bit of action from the Cape Crusaders? Yeah, we're going to jump into Game 5 for you guys. Don't worry. We got you covered.
Miles, that's one of my favorite scenes in probably any movie.
My God, right?
And this is probably going to be one of my favorite games coming up. We're going to jump into that soon. As we said, we're going to give you guys a treat and jump into Game 5. We couldn't get it on the main stage, but we're going to get the map that counts. Rebellious is going to be taking on Garlic Bread. Game 5 for their tournament lives. It's going to be big. They are obviously playing for, you know, the hopes and dreams of their competitive Call of Duty future. And of course, hopefully, we'll be seeing these teams and many more at CWL Dallas coming up very soon. We just had a chat about that. It is the last chance to get CWL Pro points to qualify for the Global LAN League. Ladies and gentlemen, the cutoff is this Monday, March 6th at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Grind those game battles ladders, play those 2Ks, and of course, get your asses over to Dallas, where it's going to be one hell of an event. Obviously, the pool play deadline, you can catch it in there. You must complete your rosters via Team Builder by Monday. That's tomorrow here. Of course, actually, we'll see Tuesday very early in the morning because they're talking about Eastern Standard Time there. The pool play teams will be confirmed the next day. It is going to be one hell of an event again. Game Battles Pro Points cutoff is Monday, so that's going to be huge. Make sure you are grinding those ladders. CWL Dallas, I cannot wait for that. Miles, just like I cannot wait for CWL Sydney Open 2, May 12 to 14. It's going to be a whole field of bananas.
Looking forward to getting our teeth into that one. Of course, sometimes, Josh, you got to bite that banana in order to peel it. Nah, no one ever said that. That's disgusting. Don't ever bite your bananas, boys and girls. Speaking of bananas...
Sounds painful.
It does sound painful, right? It's just disgusting. Have you ever eaten a banana peel? It is horrid. I implore you, give it a go. Live your lives to the fullest. try things.
Put yourself through hell.
Put yourself through hell. We all come out on the other side better people.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, man.
Yeah, except for Banana Peel, which just makes you feel sick. Retaliation, Search and Destroy, Game 5. This is Rebellious versus Garlic Bread. What a treat we've got for you coming up here. For those of you not in the pit, join us on the main stage. I'm sure you can hear me. And get part of this one. Get yourself a comfy seat, put your feet up, maybe buy yourself a drink, a nice beverage, and feast your eyes upon what is about to be a seriously good game.
I'm so hyped to see this one go down. We've got so many story players on both teams, especially the leader in Chileans on that Rebellious lineup. He's the man who's been going very well whole weekend long. He's the only one really being consistent. Now it's time for his teammates to step up here. Of course, speaking of teammates, we do have Claw, Beeson, and Rixie. And then on the other side of things, Garlic Bread consists of Carry, Snoop, Potato Wi-Fi, and Gunzel. And man, he's not on Wi-Fi here, so Potato needs to step up on LAN, show that he's got what it takes. And we are heading into Game 5.
We'll kick this one off with Claw. Of course, Rebellious. They've been a super vocal team. They've had quite the run in the lower bracket. Can they keep it going here up against Garlic Bread? Will Garlic Bread find themselves here in Retaliation and keep the dream alive? We force it to a Game 5. It's all come down to this. For those of you just joining us, this is not happening on the main stage. This is a Bravo stream game, and it is all going down now. Claw with the wallbang. Snoop goes down first. We'll jump in with Rixie, who's making a very fast push towards that B-bomb site. 3 men alive for Garlic Bread. Rebellious now in position to make something happen. They're waiting for the information from his team, goes for the arm. Big fight happening down now in Hotel. There's shots flying out. We'll get the bomb arm, then we'll jump on board. Claw goes down. We'll jump on board with El Dios himself. Chilean, shots out. It's all going down. This is all on Rixie now. Chilean gets dropped. Dios míos indeed. Rixie, last man alive for his team in a 2v1 situation.
He was actually in a 1v3, able to find the first kill there, so he's just going to use this cover to his advantage. Turns around, good timing and awareness from this man. Can he get the first kill? He will do so indeed. Gets pinched, but he turns on him, and he's going to hit him with the salute. He knows that he has to play time here, because Carry, he doesn't have a long time to work with. Rixie, your back's turned to the man. Carry, he's going to have to slide in here if he wants any chance of taking this kill. He doesn't have time to get the defuse, and that's the first round going in for Rebellious.
All right, Rixie, that was a seriously important heads-up play. He isolated that 2v1 situation by lying prone in front of the counter in Bike Shop. That literally won him the round. Even if he won the gunfight, which is essential, but by managing to take down one player at a time and using that hard cover, which I don't think you can wallbang through, it's just huge. So wonderful heads-up play from the youngster there. That has literally made me so hopeful for the rest of this series.
Rebellious, they're going to have to rely on their new players to have breakout performances here at this event if they want to continue on this lower bracket run and win this map here right now. Potato, he's going to be engaging in a gunfight right now against, I believe that was Chilean, but he's going to trade him out with a grenade there. So a good start from him, and his teammate in Gunzel will find a second onto Rixie. So that reduces it to a 3v2, favoring this Garlic Bread lineup. And they're also on the offensive side of things. So if they pick up the bomb, get it down at B. I mean, we obviously have the full minimap. We can see where the players from Rebellious are setting up. They're in the middle of the map, one of them, and the other is going on a flank around the hallways. And that player, I don't know who it was it Claw on top of Patio, gets the first kill. Beeson now in a 1v2 situation. Might come in contact with one here, able to gun down Snoopy. And here we go, 1v1, Carry versus Beeson. Carry is a 3-0. He does not want to drop here because he can get some streaks going for himself. And he's rotating around. They're sort of playing, once again, ring around a Rosie in this Bike Shop. Neither player knows exactly where the other is. And they're just playing for kills here. Oh my god, he's going to be able to gun him. Absolutely insane stuff.
Changing the game, 1 bullet at a time. Beeson winning round 2 for his team there. Clutching up, man. You got to do that when it really matters.
Yeah.
Carry has been Mr. Last Man Standing. He was in pretty much every single S&D game we saw him. We actually saw him playing Retaliation. He seems to just always be alone. You know, and that's not a dig at his teammates. It's just that he's always the last guy to die, and I'm sure that's something to do with the way he plays his S&Ds. Either way, we'll start this one off with Chilean El Dios. Actually, Rixie. Rixie is a super clutch player. I want to see how he runs this one. He's got bomb in hand. He's just about halfway towards his active camouflage. Again, Carry got the big numbers in the first few rounds. He's going 3-1. He wasn't far away from streaks. Those trucks didn't explode, and look at this, wall running mans. These guys knowing their game mechanics inside out. Look at that fast push for the likes of Rebellious, and now it's all going to go down at A, and it looks like the read has been made, and both teams are making their plays. Here comes a setup. Claw gets an early kill on Carry. Shots are being fired at plenty. Rixie going up high, doesn't manage to catch anything from that vantage point, and now he's kind of been left by his team there in the cut through.
Rixie now in a sticky situation. Players could come from any angle, and he just has to read this as he sees it. Knows one plays around Cathedral, has spotted him a couple of times now, but it will be a 2v3 situation here. So Claw, his teammate, is going to have to help him out if they want any chance of winning this one. But you can see now, Garlic Bread, they're going for a 3-man push to A.
Yeah, great stuff from Garlic Bread. Bunching up like that, they're really keeping themselves tightly packed together. There's no way. They've got numbers now. They can trade out comfortably with Claw and Rixie, the last two alive. For Rebellious, Bomb's just gone down at B, for those of you that saw it on the minimap. Now, they've got to make this push happen together. Rebellious don't have numbers. They need to make sure that they can isolate those fights and catch those players off guard, and it looked like it has happened. Snoop is now left. He's gone up top. We've got a guy down in basement in the bike shop, and that was it. The fight was won. Claw now all on his own. The Bomb may be down, but he's going to contest against 3 players. That's 2 guns on him while he has to take care of the guy disarming, which is happening now. I don't think it's going to happen. Claw should try and stay alive. Maybe get a kill out of it. It is not going to happen, and Garlic Bread are going to get their first round on the board, and through a defuse. Great stuff from the boys in Garlic Bread. Heads up play. They had numbers, and they didn't throw that advantage away.
And this is the thing, so many of the amateur teams around the world, they'll just sometimes just go on their separate ventures searching for the kill, trying to chase the final player on the opposition team, and they just keep losing the 1v1 gunfights. Meanwhile, obviously, Garlic Bread has got a lot of experienced players who all know bunching up is the best way to go. Play the numbers advantage. If you've got 3 players facing one, that one player's got no hope in hell of getting all 3 in that situation. But what I do like is the fact that Claw is a very intelligent search and destroy player. He's played under some of the greatest minds in our scene, such as Vilesider, and he knows exactly what to do in those situations, but wasn't able to carry it out. Meanwhile, in this round, we've seen the first blood go down on towards Beaston, the man who's trying to make a name for himself at this event and change the game, as you've said. Rebellious, though, they're in a sticky situation right now. They've got to wait it out, try and play this passively, and they also have a bomb to defuse.
2 dead for Rebellious. There goes the first player down for Garlic Bread. That was going to be Snoop. He had a nice start to this one. Claw picking up a second. He's having a big one already. This is beautiful. 22 seconds remaining. Defuse is probably going to have... Oh, defending at B now, so we've got time on the bomb. Rixie.
He's just gone for it.
He's just gone for it.
He's just gone for it.
Oh my goodness, he managed to make it happen.
Wow.
We can't call it because there's a chance they may hear it, but 3-1, Rebellious with the full Ninja Defuse. Garlic Bread threw that one away. They fully threw that away, in my opinion. You know, if we kind of even numbers and you know that something's going down, you've got the bomb, you have no visual line of sight on it, you need to check that. It's like your baby. You would not leave your baby alone in the middle of a very busy supermarket, would you? James?
Hopefully not.
I'm talking to you, man. Would you leave your baby alone?
I mean, I've had dreams of being left alone in a supermarket, and I know it's happened to some people before, but I don't think it's a smart decision.
I'm going to call my parents out. They did that to me once, but I was fine. I made friends with a homeless guy, and he gave me some beans.
That sounds like a good experience.
Yeah, I made that up. That was a strange story to have. And a strange story indeed is Rixie going 2 and 4. Bomb in hand, he's going to try and make a play on B. Can he do it here? I don't think so. Nice pick up there on the Scarab. That is absolutely huge. I believe that was in Potato's hand a moment ago, and you can see that strong back line of Garlic Bread. They're really spread out. They don't have a clue where Rebellious are going to take this one. Rebellious looking super strong so far. Chillian and Rixie get kills. Each guns on the sloop now pushing up daisies. Looks like they're going to commit to B. Now, the defensive lineup is just thinned out. We've got 1 player in market. We've got another 1 player pushing around the back of lobby. Bomb is going to be going down for Rixie. 2v3 right now. They've got numbers. Rebellious looking very, very strong. Looking to put that 4th win on the board. We'll have a quick look at Carry. S&D wizard that he is. He's got a jammer in his back pocket, James, and he knows how to use it.
He's just watching Chillian. He knows that Chillian's in bedroom because he was exchanging gunfight with Potato, and as I say that, he takes him down. So now it's Carry 1v3. He's got a decent position here, but all of the players know where he is. He's revealed that position, and he's not going to be able to find the player who was using that cover to his advantage there. So Rebellious going up 4-1, and they're starting to assert their S&D dominance here. You know, from a Slay-heavy team, you don't often associate that with great S&D play, but right now they're proving to be the much stronger squad.
Got to respect Carry's decision there. He thought that the guy might be out of position. He knows his aim's on at this stage. He made the judgment call, and his gut reaction was not a great thing. But look, sometimes you win them, sometimes you lose them. Camo ready for Rixie. This is absolutely critical. They're 4-1 up right now. Garlic Bread had not exactly shown up here on Retaliation. Camo play early on for Rixie. Can he make anything happen with it? He's going to make a push on through Hotel Bar. Camo has now been spent, but he's completely on the other side of the team. He managed to make it through, but gets dropped immediately. Potato and Gunzel, last 2 alive. It's now a 2v2 situation. Garlic Bread versus Rebellious. This is one that is going down to the wire.
I'm sorry, but Rixie, that was a waste of your active camo there. He obviously didn't know it. It's all a bit in hindsight there. Wasn't able to use it effectively. Potato's actually been able to pick his up as well and spot a player in this bike shot. He actually pops his camo, finds the kill onto Chilean, leaving Claw in a 1v2. But Claw does have his rig to use as well. That payload is available, but he's just going to push straight out into the guns of Gunzel. That's a bit of a mouthful to say, and a little bit of a tongue tie. He's got the FTL jump. That could prove so useful if he's to clutch this round here.
Still 2v1 situation. Bomb's going down. You can see that on your screen. 44 seconds now before it goes down. Wow, Claw with a superb pick there on Gunzel. Is now an FTL jump.
Oh, he does.
Faster than light indeed. Claw, he makes full use of that one, and now Rebellious are on match point. What a way to do it. This is the second time we've seen these crazy clutch FTL plays happen. 8-3. The man is going off right now. They need one more win before Rebellious can eliminate Garlic Bread and advance and continue the run. The balls on this man to peek out in a 2v1 situation and get the pick, and then he was definitely feeling himself after that as he FTLs straight in there. The Fs given were at a very solid 0 at that stage.
Yeah. Almost negative.
No fear. Absolutely no fear at all. 5-1 right now. Rebellious on match point. Can they run this one home? They're on offense. They haven't had the greatest successes so far in the offensive rounds, but things are looking up for them right now. They've got to be feeling themselves. We'll look on board with Rixie, who, although threw his camera away in that last round, still somehow managing to etch the win out. Looks like they're going for an A push. But you can see the members of Garlic Bread centered around mid-map. They're going to have a couple of angles there. 2 kills for Snoop and Carry. This is looking solid for the boys in yellow so far. Claw and Rixie alive. We'll have a look at Claw's perspective. 7-kill streak for Claw there, so he does manage to get one. Ties it up ever so slowly to 3 men to 2. Streak's ready. He needs to make something happen here. Is he going to save it? He doesn't have enough information, and as you can see, the players on Garlic Bread will jump through them, mostly indoors, or at least somewhere with a roof of some sort. They know Claw streaked out. Fantastic heads-up play from these experienced players. They know he's got everything. Trinity Rocket is going to ruin your day, and that bombardment has got a round win written all over it if you can tie that one right. There goes Bomb. Rixie making it happen.
But this is the thing, because they're planning on the A-bomb site, that's all out in the open. Claw can just find a spot to hide on the map and use his streaks to get all the kills necessary to clutch this round. But he might decide to save them for a later date. He gets the first kill up close on Snoop, spots the second, not going to be able to find that once, so Garlic Bread are going to be able to finally get another round on the board. I would have liked to see him maybe sit back and use the streaks, because that bomb, if he just defended it with the streaks, they wouldn't have been able to get the defuse.
It's tricky. It's a very, very tough call to make, because we have seen, streaks win entire rounds, bombardment especially. You have 3 shots to fire with that one, and it covers a tremendous amount of ground.
Like Nimble's ace with it back in the first series of this event.
Yeah, 100%. But if you throw that away, how devastating could that be for you when you possibly have that situation unfold later? I mean, Rebellious, it's still 5-2 right now. They're on match point. We'll stick this one on board with Claw, who still has got those streaks. This could be the round where they use them. He can't use them at the straight. He can't use them immediately at the break of the round, but he is going to be able to make something happen here. 5-2 all comes down to this.
2 rounds later, he's also got his FTL jump back and ready to use in his back pocket. Just push those 2 bumpers together at the same time, and you are going to be going flying. Meanwhile, it's a very passive round from both teams. No one really pushing up that far. One player, Carry, going to be sitting in the back of the map as well. Claw pre-firing down the hallway, hoping that someone pushes him and just runs straight into his bullets here, but it might not happen. Snoop just darting around the bedroom broken area, allowing his teammate of Potato to get the bomb down. So this looks like it's going to be a 4v4 retake.
This has been a great start so far. Snoop with an early one. The footsies are finished, and now we're on to the main dance. Snoop now gets the first kill. Chilean El Dios is now sleeping with the fishies. Beaston gets one on Gunzel. Snoop sitting in a hotel. We're going to see if he can't make something happen here, but he's actually in a good position to catch those 2 players out on top. He's got somebody in position there. He just turned wrong timing, but it seemed to work out from Claw goes down. Beaston is still alive in mid-map. Can he make something happen? His shot's out, but he backs down. A bit of an aggressive play somehow worked out for him. Rixie going, it's happening. It's happening. The timing. Please. Is it going to go down? It looks like it's now a 1v2 Carries all alone, and there's seconds away. It's going to happen, and there we have it. Rebellious takedown Garlic Bread here in the losers bracket. Garlic Bread put it back into the fridge because they're done. Rebellious have had their fill. It all went down to these final kills from Beaston, but 2 exceptional diffuses from the boys in Rebellious. They did a fantastic job of winning those rounds. This was a Bravo game which took place off of the side stage, so we're not going to be cutting to any highlights of the players high-fiving and whatnot, but you can be damn sure that there's a couple of screaming, beating chests happening next door.
Yeah, Beaston, Chilean, they love to get loud. We can't hear it because we're in here, but I'm sure that anyone who is over in the pit right now, you are seeing
seeing them screaming in the face of Garlic Bread, telling them how bad they are just because of the sort of players and the hype that brings this Rebellious lineup.
Well, speaking of hype, we've got a big one coming up for you next, but we'll get to that in just a moment, guys. Rebellious here, you're watching these highlights, beautiful stuff from them. We didn't get to catch the rest of the series, but this was Game 5 of the Championship Loser Bracket Round 3 here at the CWL Sydney Open 1, presented by PlayStation 4. This was one of my favorite SND games I've seen at the tournament so far. So much on the line, pushing it to Game 5, and the boys in blue, Rebellious, they'd had a tough run. We'd given them a lot of flack for being, being kind of loud and boisterous players, but now they're showing up. That loser bracket run is happening, and coming up later, we're going to get them out here on the main stage and see if they can't get a little rowdy for us, James.
Well, yeah, I hope that this loser bracket fires them up. I mean, we've seen that before in the past. Teams such as Denial, I believe, when they won the Advanced Warfare Call of Duty Championships, as far as I remember, they were pushed down into the lower bracket very early on, and they made that run, and that fired up that team to get that victory at that event. And I mean, this could be just the exact same case with Rebellious, what they needed to get back on their game, because they were looking so lackluster the last 2 days.
Claw going absolutely ham. This was the final round. We saw big plays here. Snoop just unable to get that kill there. I believe that was Beaston in mid-map. He got the shots out and then he backed up, and by doing that, he allowed his opponents to move on through and get that defuse. 2 superb clutch diffusers. I don't want to call them ninja diffusers, but they kind of were. You know, it was usually 2v2 situations, and the boys in Rebellious just no fear. They were so brave. Very, very courageous plays. But again, heads up stuff. They knew that they had numbers. They knew the positions were working out for them. Maybe all it takes is a little bit of luck, a little bit of magic, and you can make that sort of stuff pay off.
Yeah, of course.
Timing is everything, James.
It is, especially in a game like Call of Duty where players can just come from anywhere at any moment, and the information is so hard to gather without risking your life. But we are going to be looking at the broad spectrum of things for the rest of the day. We have now cemented Prodigy Esports going up against Rebellious in your next game on the main stage. That is going to be a big one.
Yeah, you want to see 2 teams going up against each other, and that is going to be a big one to catch. We've got Rebellious, who have just come off a very, very clutch win. Game 5 versus Garlic Bread happened on Bravo, and now they're going to be getting ready to come over to the main stage. This is going to be a hype match. Losers bracket is where it always goes down. We've got Prodigy Esports. We saw them go up against the Chiefs, put on a stunning show. They fell just short there. Their losers bracket run is only just beginning. Will we see a little bit more action from the boys in Rebellious? Can they keep going? Can they rebel against all the sort of torment and the anger that's been thrown around and whatnot? We'll find out after this break, guys. Don't go anywhere.